once again, we are back on the OBS side. Alec Nava, Ian Genge here. So, we are moments away from puck drop as we are getting the starting lines here. Michael Granlund, Roope Hintz, Mikko Rantanen on the top line. Second line of Mason Marchment, Matt Duchene, and Tyler Seguin. As it is. Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnston, Evgeny Dadonov on the third line. Jason Robertson, Sam Steele, Colin Blackwell on the bottom line. The top defensive pair of Miro Heiskanen and Thomas Harley. Or rather, that's Esa Lindell with Miro Heiskanen. I'm trying to get my headset so I can hear this audio, but it turns out it's not recognizing anything on the audio side. So I'm going to have to disconnect and reconnect the USB port that allows me to. Alright, so Thomas Harley and Cody Ceci. I apologize for any inconveniences around here. Too much technical difficulties here throughout because my laptop froze. Alright, now I can hear the audio. All right, Leon Bishop and Alex Petrovic to round out the defensive core. Jake Oettinger is your starting goaltender for the Stars. And the backup is Casey DeSmith. So for the Oilers, their starting lineup is Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Connor McDavid, Zach Hyman. On the top line. Second line of Vasily Podkolzin, Leon Draisaitl, and Kasperi Kapanen. Evander Kane, Adam Henrique, Victor Arvidsson on the third line. Fourth line consisting of Trent Frederick, Matthias Janmark, and Corey Perry. Defensive pairings begin with Brett Kulak, Evan Bouchard. Darnell Nurse with Troy Stetcher. And then to round out, Jake Wallman with John Klingberg. Starting goaltender is Stuart Skinner. Calvin Pickard has returned to the lineup. He is back as the backup to Skinner this time around. As we get our healthy scratches on both sides. As the Oiler faithful sings, "Oh Canada." So as they sing "Oh Canada" here at Rogers Place, trying to get everything set and square here throughout. And, alright, so now we're back here. I apologize to anyone over at the OBS side, or the Twitch side, that's been dealing with these difficulties. Has plagued us for the last few minutes. I hope that these issues do not persist again here in Game 4 of this Western Conference Final. Here between the Oilers and the Stars. So, I am so sorry. For anyone who wants to tune into the New York Knicks and the Indiana Pacers, our friend John Ott has you guys covered. That is Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final. I covered Game 3 in which the Knicks made their third comeback of this postseason when trailing by at least 20 points in a playoff game. And they won it. So, we talk of comeback kings. The Dallas Stars have company in the New York Knicks. But you can only play from behind for so long if you're the Dallas Stars. We went through this in a previous game, Ian. And we agree on this notion that you have to continue scoring goals. But so far, that goal scoring is not coming for the Stars. Everything is not falling. So everything is rebooting on my laptop. And thankfully so. Stuart Skinner has won 4 of his last 5 games. Let's get rocking and rolling. Game 4, Western Conference Final. This is the 2025 edition of it. This time around, the Oilers up 2-1 after dropping the opening game. Last year was the Stars dropping the opening game, then going up 2-1. Last year was the Oilers coming out on top in 6 games. As they start with the Draisaitl line. Oscar Bach is in the lineup. No Roope Hintz this time around. Again for the Stars, so he is out. Harley shifts with Cody Ceci on the lineup. Bach moves in, drops for Sam Steele. Steele curl drag, kicked out by Skinner, and there's a broken stick on the ice. The Oilers get this one out through center and glide us in. Overskating it was Kane, and could not be broken free by Matt Duchene. Bouchard through the far side, this one wide, but Oettinger will play this one out as it's not ice. The Oilers take it behind it. Hyman fires it, kicked out, and the rebound was blocked in front. Another shot, juggled up in front. Oettinger couldn't see it and is glided over towards Gretzky's office as there's a spin on a half spin around for Hyman. Hyman feeds up the far side for McDavid. Bouchard delays here. Go and drag feed towards the near side for McDavid. Stars try to get it out. Arguably the deepest lineup of any team, but that's on paper, and the Oilers are showing that games are not played on paper. Essentially, this Stars team is basically the dream team on offense, but sometimes the dream team can lead to disappointing results. And this may be Exhibit A of such. Walman delays as he slides it up ahead, one off the stick of Esa Lindell. Lindell rushes back to it, and it's grabbed by Heiskanen for the far side. The pass too far, and it will be ice as Troy Stecher grabs up. So, our referees, Chris Rooney, glad to see him back in. Chris Rooney, who took that high stick onto the face in Game 7 between the Florida Panthers and Toronto Maple Leafs. It's awesome seeing him back in officiating an NHL game after what he just went through. Faceoff is won by Dallas as they try to control at the near corner. Can't get it out. For the near half boards, Jamie Benn is tangled up. Free agent after this year. Grabbed up by Johnston. Johnston wants to get this one inside, but can't. And there's a tangle up by the Oiler blue line, and Oiler is hurt. Slow to get up. And I think that's Corey Perry, who is slowly making his way towards the bench. The Oilers send it in, and this one chopped away off a stick. Dallas can't connect on a pass, and the Oilers hold the zone at the near side. Matthias Janmark can't hold it. Carried on back through center by Dallas, and this is fired inside for an icing. And now, the fallen Oiler is Corey Perry. He got back up, but was very slow to the bench, and he's hurting. He sits right next to Calvin Pickard as he was hounded down at his own blue line by Michael Granlund. A cross check from behind. On for the back. How do you miss that? Petrovic fakes the slapper, and this one banked off the back of one of the Oilers. Picked up behind the net as Dallas wants to get on the board first. Sagan fires. That's wide. Held inside by Dallas as Skinner makes a kick save and another one. Wraparound attempt could not go there. Kane tries to clear and does so. Chasing it down as Petrovic. Up the far boards. A spinorama wrister right inside as Skinner wants to play this one out. He hesitated for a bit, and Dallas slapped this one to keep it around. Another wraparound attempt. Cross-ice feed. Couldn't go there. Bishop can't fire it, and this is smoked wide. Duchene there. Back pedals back for Bishop. Back for Duchene at the near corner. Duchene. Carwin drag, half spin, and then a full spin around. Give and go. Back out towards the left point is Bishop. For Petrovic. Petrovic. Wrist one. Penalty up against the Oilers here. Wallman gets hauled down. Dallas keeps it inside. Feed for Sagan. Now Duchene. Sagan again. He's tied up. Out in front. And this cannot be collected up. Petrovic blasts it. And it's blocked. This will go all the way back onto the Dallas end. As it will be picked up now, I believe by Bishop, who will carry it back for Mikko Rantanen. Rantanen, who's been the Conn Smythe Trophy favorite entering the Western Conference Final, glides it for hits. Hansen's in the lineup here, dropping all the way back. Lindell delays one, going down low towards the near corner. Rantanen delays it. Now back for Harley. Across, and this is a wrister that was blocked off a stick out of play, and the Stars head to the power play, and it'll be John Klingberg who will be called for the penalty, one of three former Stars on the Edmonton lineup. It is 2 for holding Matt Duchene. It'll be Klingberg to the box as Duchene drew the penalty. Dallas had several chances to get on the board first. We were going to say this here, that Dallas needs to be the aggressor early. and they must get chances at the net to hound and pepper Stuart Skinner so as to get back onto the board and even the series up. Harley, that one deflected wide in front. Rantanen holds it on the far corner. Around for Harley, the pass too far for him. Duchesne holds his zone from the left point. Rantanen watched by Darnell Nurse. Nurse almost took it away, and Edmonton gets a steal and clears it out. All the way back to Jake Oettinger. Oettinger plays this for Harley. The Stars' power play, 31.9% at this postseason. 12 for 28 at home, but on the road, it's been a much different story. Where they are 3 of 19 on the road. So on the road, their power play has been ailing. And at home, the Oilers' peak has been electric, as one-timer was above Skinner's glove, but not on net. Duchesne wants to find Johnston. Bouchard broke it up. Underrated defense for Bouchard. Though he has a propensity for those what are you doing moments, but his brilliance with the puck makes up for that. Miro Heiskanen on the ice. Miro drops it back to Tyler Seguin. Seguin to Marchment. Mason Marchment to Seguin. He gets tied up. Puck came free to the Oilers. This is picked up by Matthias Janmark. Janmark slides it up near side. Here's a give and go to Kapanen. Kapanen holds it, walking a high slot. Still through several stick checks. One for Marchment and Michael Granlund will move it up on a free-on-free. Now to near side. Stuffed towards the wall. And there's still not a shot on goal here for the Stars on this man advantage. Edmonton's PK, as we noted in the open, has looked a lot like last year's PK. In these last two games, the Oilers' PK has been dominant. Slapped out off a miscarry. And here's Heiskanen with 11 seconds left on a man advantage. Here Lindell have to hurry up. That's a Lindell stretch pass. This is deflected up. Skinner will play this one out. Almost misplayed it. Dallas can't hold it. And now it's 5-on-5. Up the middle as Draisaitl drops it. Another drop pass. Klingberg gets pickpocketed. And the Stars will take it up. The Oilers have killed off 13 straight penalties at their home ice. Here's a quick shot. And that's turned away by Skinner. Race for this puck as this rebound go all the way back down towards the near corner of the Dallas zone. Oscar Bach picking it up. With the far half boards, Harley. Both send the feed up, but nobody home. The Stars have been outscored 9-0 in the first period on the road this postseason. They have yet to score a road postseason goal this year. Harley's on the hold near side. Harley wants to play this one behind. Stetcher in the way. Up the far side. This is a quick wrister. And one blocked in front. The rebound came to Henrique. He'll clear this one towards the far side. 7 minutes gone here in the opening frame. Shots are free to Dallas. No shots on that power play. Blackwell directed one off Skinner. Steele picks it up. Sam Steele on the near corner for Jamie Benn. Blackwell will look towards Benn's direction, who is closed up. Goes back to the point. Bishop can't hold the zone. He'll send this to Petrovic. Petrovic moves up front for Blackwell, who gets tied up. The Oilers take it back. They've been so methodical here in this Western Conference Final, save for the Game 1 meltdown. Dumped in deep, that went off an Oilers stick. And Frederick shoved his man out the way. The Stars will send this one down. The wide Johnston. The Dada moves up. The Dada fires. Kick save Skinner. And the rebound almost an own goal by the Oilers. This one will be iced though. But the rebound was almost an own goal. John Klingberg survived a scare, and on the first power play, Mikko Rantanen rang the bar on the top right corner side. He can't believe it. Bouchard and Hintz get tangled up at center ice. And he's a little frustrated after the matter of fact. Top lines out there, Robertson, Hintz, and Rantanen. Tie up off the face-up, Oilers get it. At center ice, there are several sticks in the way. Trent Frederick gets hounded by Rantanen. Up the far side, Robertson chases after it. Klingberg tied up, Hintz too. Robertson tries to free it up, and Kane gets the steal. Up the far side, McDavid drops for Kane. Kane back for McDavid, goes in, backhander! Wristed wide the goal. With the near side, Robertson's tied up. Bouchard can't hold the zone. Dallas through the near side. Hits is at the end of his shift. And Wallman takes it away from Hits. Jake Wallman, the former Detroit Red Wing and San Jose Shark, will get this one up for the near side. Bouchard delays it, wristing this one right onto the near corner. Bouchard plays it up the near wall. The Stars in the way there. Here's a 2-on-1. Moving up is Tyler Seguin. Across the ice, Seguin goes back. The pass missed, and then it goes out in front. Marchman missed it. Up for Seguin again. Seguin up high and wide. Held inside for Harley. Harley delays it. Pass towards the slot. Shane missed it. Marchman a try. That didn't go there. Moved up to Hyman. For the near side, McDavid moves in with speed. McDavid over to right, Nugent-Hopkins. And that one blocked on the near side. Back to Shane. He'll take this as he wants to. Darnell Nurse at the passing lane. Goes back. Baseball batted up by Shane. Skinner had to be aware of that one. Edmonton gets the clear down low. Miro Heiskanen picks it back up. 21-6, the shot attempts in favor of the Stars. They've set the tone here early. They're playing like a desperate team and treating this like an elimination game, but Skinner makes another save. Wallman plays it behind the net, and the Oilers will move this one up the near side. Arvidsson sent this towards the far corner. Petrovic there, or rather Sam Steele. Heiskanen's on the takeaway. Up the far boards, Bach can't get this one deep enough. Brett Kulak got in the way of Colin Blackwell. Near side for John Klingberg, the former Star. Sent this to the far corner. Petrovic is there. For the far out boards, the Oilers keep this one inside as Oettinger makes the stop. Zach Hyman is not on the bench, but he's averaged 7.8 hits per game in this postseason as we go to break here. There was a collision on Corey Perry early, but Hyman, it seems to have something wrong with his wrist. We'll take a look on his and Perry's statuses while we come back after the break.
Yeah, the Stars are doing what they need to do early, and that's put shots on the net. The thing is, some of those shots have been absolute missiles, and Skinner has still been able to find it. You gotta ask yourself, as a player shooting the puck, trying to get it past the goalie, and you can't, what exactly can you do differently outside of changing, maybe the slightest angle of your shot?
That's what I'm wondering too. But at the same time, it's people question about Peter DeBoer and his adjustments, but I have bigger questions about Steve Spott and his power play.
Yeah, it's funny. When I was watching that, so obviously Peter DeBoer is, it's the curse of Peter DeBoer, but right now it's more looking like the power play is what's killing Dallas rather than the 5-on-5. 5-on-5 has been excellent so far in this game. They had, did they even have a shot on goal on that power play, Alec?
I don't believe they did. Mikko Rantanen came close to having one, but his shot ranked the bar. That's the bizarre thing. And even when they're getting shots, Dallas, that is, Stuart Skinner has been a beast. I feel that there's certain teams that certain players love to play against, and Skinner loves to play against the Stars. Halfway mark of the first period, as the Stars try to get this one in deep. Foot race for the puck. Jamie Benn brings down Klingberg. Granlund picks it up. And yes, that is a tripping penalty against Jamie Benn. He did bring down John Klingberg. So it turns out, no love lost between former teammates, seeing between Benn and Klingberg.
Well, this is the playoffs.
It is. Yeah, Chris Rooney in position to see that, and it was a clear trip from there. Once again, we're happy that we're seeing Chris Rooney again. And Ian, we have a status update on Corey Perry. He is on the ice after taking that cross-check from Michael Granlund earlier in this period. He is on the top power play unit. Off the faceoff, it's won by Draisaitl. McDavid brings it back to Bouchard. Saucer pass towards the right circle. McDavid trying to find room. Sends one towards the goal. The rebound came out in front. And the Stars trying to clear it. Bouchard holds it. Up for McDavid, who re-enters up. For the far side. will send one for RNH. Nugent-Hopkins, backhander, kicked out by Oettinger. The Stars will send this one down the distance. Skinner will come out playing this one at his left circle. Bouchard will lead the way. Perry on the top power play unit because of the injury to Zach Hyman. RNH sets up for the blazing McDavid. What will Lightning McQueen do? Ryan Nugent-Hopkins sent this one for McDavid and then around to the near side for Draisaitl. Back for Bouchard. Bouchard back to Draisaitl. Draisaitl near half boards over to Bouchard. Skating against McDavid left circle. Spinning around Wyatt Johnston, who's a minus 17 in this postseason. That's worse than Darnell Nurse's mark. And Johnston with the steal. Johnston moves around McDavid. Johnston tried to power through. McDavid stayed with him. And Johnston gets doubled up by Nugent-Hopkins up for the far quarter. Draisaitl on the poke away. Draisaitl will look to set up for Perry, and does. Will drop it back. Draisaitl for the near side. Draisaitl waits up, delays for Nugent-Hopkins. Draisaitl, one-timer, he scores! We know that's coming because Leon Draisaitl loves to fire those one-timers from the bottom of the right circle, and he does so here. 1-zip.
And that sloppy power play by Dallas coming back to haunt them because when the Oilers get on the power play, you have to be near perfect in order to stave off both McDavid and Draisaitl on a man advantage. And it would have been nice to have a one-goal buoy if you were Dallas.
It would be, but the fact that Dallas has not scored in the first period in a road playoff game this year is looming large. And that bad power play from Dallas, of course, as you noted, it's looming large for them because now Draisaitl's 20th career playoff power play goal, 4th in Oilers franchise history. And he's going up there among Oiler greats with the likes of Wayne Gretzky, Yari Curry, Glenn Anderson, Mark Messier, and all of them. You can even count Grant Fuhrer in this. Stuart Skinner might not be Grant Fuhrer, but if he continues to channel his inner Bill Ranford, then all will be well for the Oilers if they were to get back to the Stanley Cup Final. This is the 14th time in 17 playoff games that the Stars have allowed the first goal of a game. They were outscored 10-0 in the first period this postseason on the road, and that's looming large. They have yet to score a goal on the road in the first period of a playoff game this year. That is ailing them. And against a team like the Oilers, that can come back to bite them. Up the far side, back to Shane. Shane, one-timer right side. Glove save. Stuart Skinner. Or should I say 2025 edition of Bill Ranford. Because he's playing like the 1990 reincarnation. He's playing like the reincarnation of Bill Ranford in 1990. Leon Draisaitl from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who's made a habit of being a postseason performer for the Oilers against the Dallas Stars to make it 1-0 Edmonton here. Game 4 of the Western Conference Final 2025. We'll return in a moment. Then commercial breaks, we're going to keep an eye out on what our good friend John Ott is doing over the Knicks and Pacers side, because they're underway right now. But about last night, it may be bizarre reading off these stats about the Minnesota Timberwolves that they led the game in rebounds, assists, points off turnovers, fast break points, points to the paint, second chance points, free throw attempts, free throw makes, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, and free throw percentage. Yet the 23 turnovers are what killed them in that game. That's what lost them the game.
Yes, it was. And there was also... Oh, hang on. We'll cover this in the intermission, but there was a quote put out by a former player named Kendrick Perkins. If you know the name, you know that it's going to be Crone-worthy. The game is going to come back on soon. I'll cover this in the intermission, but I want your opinion on what he said, because I feel like he's out of bounds.
It felt that way, but the Thunder are showing they are the complete package, and I know late in the game that last sequence of free throw makes are annoying, but it's strategy. That LeBron James said it best. He'd rather foul up free than give up a free. And good thinking by the Thunder as that shot went wide up over the crossbar. And this one played out by, well, I believe it's Victor Arvidsson, grabbed by Cody Ceci. Up the far boards. Dallas brings it back in across the ice. Mason Marchment delays it, deflected up front. Skinner to stop there. And it's Marchment, another sharp angle shot. And Skinner another save. Mason Marchment brought up in trade rumors because Dallas, if you think the Oilers cap crunch this offseason is going to be noteworthy, that's got nothing on Dallas's cap crunch this offseason. Do remember, Mikko Rantanen, Wyatt Johnston, and Jake Oettinger all have their new contracts kick in next summer. And they're going to be significant pay raises compared to what they are making on their previous contracts. Hintz wins the draw. Heiskanen holds it. Towards the right side. Quick shot. Bounced off Skinner. The Oilers settle it down. Played out to center ice. Chasing after is Dallas. 28-10 the shot attempts in favor of the Stars. Through the far boards. Hintz plays this along the benches. Settled down by Rantanen. Rantanen. Closed off by Kulak. Robertson 2. From the near corner. Edmonton brings this towards center ice. What could be the possibility of reuniting the Robertson brothers as Oettinger gloves this one down from center field? What's the possibility of uniting the Robertson brothers together? Say, if you were to think of a hypothetical, Marchment for Nick Robertson and a pick, and then the Stars sign Robertson because they'll be getting his RFA rights and not Robertson outright. It'll be tempting, that offer.
You know, it's not a bad move. I don't know if Toronto would go for it, considering Nick Robertson is still a younger piece, I think. And, you know, Toronto's going to, if they're smart, they'll have a ton of roster turnover.
Yeah, because we know Marner's going to be gone. Tavares, we'd be open on a hometown discount, but Nick Robertson has not been used a lot by the Maple Leafs, and I think he may be in line for a change of scenery. If it means he goes to Dallas to reunite with his brother, so be it. I'll be open to that. This puck bounced 5 times on the ice before it comes back onto the Edmonton zone. It's a 6th bounce as Klingberg plays it towards his far corner, and the Oilers will bring this one up towards the middle. 3-on-2 as they enter. Perry slides it back, running out of room, deflected, and this one went off of Granlund. Perry can't play this one. Johnson set this one behind. Klingberg ties up his man. The Oilers recollect it. This is a mini rivalry. The Stars dominate the late 90s, early 2000s version of it. The Oilers on the winning end of the mid-2020s edition as this rivalry is back up to life. From the near corner, Dallas plays this to Oscar Baku mishandles. Bishop to Petrovic, deep right point. Petrovic, this one could not be redirected. For the near half boards, Granlund says one to the goal. Rang one off the outside the cage. Or the outside the post, as this one held by Granlund. For the near half boards, down low for Bach. Bach wanted to swing this one out left point. Grabs a hold of it, but the Oiler defense is all over it. Crowd thundering and chanting, "Let's go Oilers," as it is along the boards. This shot went off a stick in front, and Edmonton will clear this one down. Settled down by Petrovic, with one of the Oilers hounding him. Bishop, the Swiss heavy-hitting machine, goes up the far side on the pass. Blackwell gets ridden along the wall. Sam Steele can't get it. The Oilers will restart. Up the far side, this bounce. Dallas will restart from their own zone. Getting free is Blackwell. Marchment sent this one around the boards. Near corner, as this is Sam Steele setting one up for Marchment. Bounced off of Skinner's pads. Arvidsson recollects the rebound, and Arvidsson will slide it all the way across. Settled down by Janmark, but could not any further. Arvidsson helps him out at his own zone. Arvidsson slides across the ice, and this one across from Nurse to Stetcher. Then back for Nurse. Darnell Nurse will look again. Arvidsson has 1 goal in the playoffs this postseason. 10th game played. Up the middle as this is sticked away. As Dallas plays keep away. 12-6 shots on goal in favor of the Stars. As Kapanen puts on a shove. Skinner will play this one towards the far side with Matt Duchene right behind him. Up the far boards. Bounced up several times. Cleared out by the Oilers. 5 goals in the playoffs for Connor Brown. Arvidsson replacing him, so the goal production is reduced significantly among goal scoring for the Oilers, but nonetheless, Arvidsson is valuable depth. Played out towards the right point. Heiskanen walks around the defender. Heiskanen moves around to the right circle. Heiskanen right behind it. Sends this towards the left point. Lindell slides one to Rantanen. Across the point. Now down low. Duchene can't get this one as Kulak was all over it. Brett Kulak played this one out towards the Dallas zone. Will this be ice? No. Heiskanen plays this one as he grabs it up. Miro Heiskanen up the far boards. Skinner comes out again. Rope hits right on his face, but luckily for Skinner, John Klingberg was right there to play this one up. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins up the far side. Up for Corey Perry. It was played up Ottinger's pads. Dallas can't clear as Connor McDavid tried to go around Miro Heiskanen, but can't. 2-on-2, and now the Stars will go back up. And this one fired off Skinner. He can't track it. And this one he covers. That one was an awkward-looking sequence. They love Stuart Skinner here in Edmonton. He's a hometown hero. And if he can lead the way for the Oilers to get back-to-back Stanley Cup Final appearances, he'll be hailed as a hometown hero even more. We'll be back for the final 310.
Dallas continues to a quality shot after quality shot on Skinner, and somehow they still, he's still able to prevent them from going in the back of the net.
Yep. I mean, Stuart Skinner has been on one ever since he returned to the crease. As we look up to the NBA side, meanwhile, this is not a typo. What you're hearing is actual bonkers. The Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks have combined for 78 points in the first quarter. The Pacers led after the first frame, 43-35. What a quarter.
Yeah, zero defense.
I mean, you would believe that's what would happen when Tom Thibodeau overexhausts his guys, but strangely enough, Thibodeau went 9 deep in Game 3, and here he's going 10 deep. He's trusting his bench now. Strange to hear about this, but you have to have a reliable bench if you want to win in the NBA playoffs. And you have the pieces to do so between Mitchell Robinson, who is now in the starting lineup, Landry Shamet, Campaign, Miles McBride, Precious Achiuwa. And as we get back here in Edmonton, the Stars have looked like a completely different team here in Game 4 of the Western Conference Final in 2025. As the faceoff is won by Edmonton, Game 3 was the first time all postseason which the Stars have lost back-to-back games this postseason. Johnston carrying this one up for the far side. Back towards the point is Heiskanen. Heiskanen lets one go. It's bounced off the back wall and played out towards the netting. And you mentioned about quality shots. That one was a scoring chance for Dallas as Heiskanen let one go from distance with bodies in front. This series, plus 18 shot differential, plus 48 shot attempt differential, plus 311 offensive zone time differential, minus 6 goal differential. How does that even translate?
It translates to madness.
It's a state of how. We're just confused in a collective scene here. Okay, so it's face up between Sagan and Kane. Won by Sagan. Across for Harley. Harley looks near at boards. Towards Sagan. One-timer deep. And this one turned away. Right behind is Harley, who frees one up. Out front, Marchman can't get to it. All the way back out, Heiskanen. Towards the far half boards as Harley It's over the one-timer. Seguin blasts it wide. Thomas Harley recollects in his own zone. 2:30 to go. Harley sent it deep over to Tyler Seguin. Seguin sends it deep on a bounce off the near corner, with the Oilers playing this one through. Brett Kulak up the far boards. This takes a bounce on the neutral zone, and the Oilers bring it back. Here's Evan Bouchard. High swat! That was wide. Collected by Mason Marshman. 84 miles an hour on the wrister as Bouchard and Nugent-Hopkins get back. The pass across is blocked, and it's collected by Bouchard. Evan Bouchard for the near side. Partial 2-on-1 here. Connor McDavid closes in. McDavid can't stuff it past Oettinger. Oettinger holds on to it, but almost could have been 2-0. Had it not been for Oettinger, who's keeping the Stars in this game. Connor McDavid once again with another scoring chance. And the Oilers still retain possession with the speed of McDavid going through as he tried to close it in 5-hole. 12 shots in this series for McDavid. 10 scoring chances. 2 goals and 3 assists. He has come to life in this Western Conference Final. It's his 4th straight 20-point postseason, which ties an NHL record. And Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was stepping after McDavid was tossed out the faceoff dot. RNH can play center too. Corey Perry still out there. No sign of Zach Hyman. Oilers win the draw. Bouchard blasts it. And Oettinger turned it away as he gloves it down. 90 miles an hour on the shot. The signature Bouch bomb. Among most consecutive postseason with 20 points in Stanley Cup playoff history, McDavid, Sergei Fedorov, Mike Bossy, and Brian Trottier, each with 4 consecutive. His conference final career, McDavid with 8 goals, 14 assists, and 22 points as Oettinger covers up another one. But in the conference finals, McDavid has been on a tear. Doesn't matter if it's up against Colorado or up against Dallas. No matter who he faces, he's bound to break out. And that's why he's the best player in the NHL. Rope hits, wins the draw. For the near side, Heiskanen skates up. Over to the far side. Robertson sent it back for Rantanen. Mikko Rantanen over the far boards. And it was one pride free. Bouchard collects it up. Evan Bouchard brings up the space. And this one bounced up. Iced against the Oilers. And the shot's 15-9 in favor of Dallas. They have not scored a goal on the road in the first period of a playoff game. That is on the road, that is. So tomorrow will be monitoring potential closeout games. Carolina, Florida, Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Final in the Stanley Cup Playoffs. And Oklahoma City, Minnesota, Game 5 Western Conference Final of the NBA Playoffs. Faceoffs 11-5 Dallas. The Oilers lead 1-0. The goal from Leon Draisaitl. Jamie Benn was a draw. Harley throws one towards the goal. Skinner another save. Heiskanen kept it inside. And once again another stoppage. These stoppages have been coming way too often here. But Stuart Skinner, so far through 18.5 plus minutes, 16 of 16. Words cannot explain it.
No. No, and it's... Oh, we're back.
Yep. On a swing, as Skinner makes another stop. Once again, Wards cannot explain it. About how good he has been against the likes of Dallas. Shot is blocked in front, and the Oilers want to get it out. The Stars able to hold. Not for long, though, as it's played out. 5:28 of offensive zone time for the Stars. 2:42 for the Oilers. Edmonton wants to play this one out. Cannot be grabbed by rope hits. And Dallas will restart from their own zone. Smoothly skating his way up as Heiskanen. Heiskanen will backpedal to Harley. Thomas Harley will backpedal again as the Stars go for line changes. Fired around the far boards. And this will be collected right behind the crease by Granlund. Robertson tried to free it up. Adam Henrique let this one go. Janmark will play this to center ice. 25 seconds. Janmark directing this to the near corner. Dallas wants to get this one out. Klingberg's in the way. Bounced up, and this could be a partial break. No, it's not, as Roope Hintz lost the handle. Up the middle is Arvidsson sending it across the ice. For the left circle, a quick shot. Stopped by Oettinger. No rebound as he covers it up. And then a scuffle. Matthias Janmark went crashing towards the net. And the most predictable outcome here is pushing and shoving, as both teams have words for each other right after the matter of fact. Jason Robertson, Jake Wallman, Roope Hintz, Vasily Podkolzin. Seeing all of them go up with one another. And Arvidsson. I don't know if we're seeing a penalty here, but Jake Wallman. So the first one was a stop by Andre, and Arvidsson went crashing towards the net. So it is only Vasily Podkolzin who's going out for roughing. So he was pushing back on Dallas, trying to get a shove, but no gloves were dropped. Jake Wallman wanted to go, but nothing more after that, as Ryan Gibbons and Ryan Daisy did their jobs breaking up everyone. So Dallas gets a 2-minute power play to have 1:53 of carryover power play time to begin the second period if they don't score in these 7 seconds. Matt Duchene to take the faceoff. We imagine the Top Guns are going to be out there for the Stars. Right back to Harley out the faceoff win. Harley all the way across. This one deflected out. 2.8 seconds. And now the curious case. Do you pull Jake Oettinger or do you go 5-on-4? It's a couple seconds left. But depending on you have the right personnel, you could possibly pull Jake Oettinger in this possibility. And imagine that Edmonton will have 3 guys lined up towards a SWAT so as to prevent a scoring chance. It says 5-on-4. Off the face-off, grabbed by Duchene, stopped by Skinner, and that'll end the first period. 1-0 Oilers, and Edmonton's power play quicks with Leon Draisaitl. The Oilers have killed off their last 13 penalties at home. Could that continue onwards here? We have yet to find out, as Matt Duchene gets turned away at the last moment to end out the first period. So, about the OKC and Minnesota, we were mentioning something about Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah, so let me pull up the quote real quick. All right. Here it is. This was in reference to Ant. He said, "You gotta check the boxes when you're the face of the league. Bird, Magic, MJ, Kobe, Shaq, LeBron, Steph. They all were family men. They all were married with kids." So apparently this is in response to claims that Ant is going to be is the next face of the NBA. And there's something that bothers me when people say something like that. Because sure, family men had kids, fine. These individuals were not perfect.
No.
Maybe Steph. No, Steph has been uber clean. I can't remember a scandal with him. But the rest, they all had their issues.
Yeah. We mentioned about Michael Jordan with his gambling problems, Kobe Bryant with that. The closest we can think of LeBron was... what can we think of? Yeah. Another thing that we should not mention. Yeah. But Steph has been mostly queen. But Anthony Edwards, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what to take away from this, but what can we learn from such a thing? It's that who you look up to amongst sports. It's likely, it's the likely scenario is that no, not likely scenario. The moral of the story is, and I've been consistent on this. When you should superstar players in any sport should not be looked at as role models. I've been consistent on this.
And I have to agree with you.
Yeah, because you never know what controversy they may run into off the court. And so it's kind of funny that Kendrick Perkins would say such a thing, because if you have a clean track record would normally mean that you're free of any controversy. The chances are the face of any league could possibly run into a controversy at any moment, and there's no guarantee that they'll have a clean track record at any point. And this goes for everyone. Besides, in terms of face of the league in the NBA, there's not a clear-cut next face of the league in the NBA. That's been going on for debate, but until further notice, we have yet to find out who the next face of the league will be. I think it is to be determined. The closest we can say is Jokic, but Anthony Edwards could make a good case. I'm not sure if either or is going to happen, but I think the closest is going to be Jokic. That's the way I view things.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that one.
Oh. Yeah, I'll say that Kendrick Perkins take just bothers me.
Yeah, and another thing, if Ant becomes a face of the league, by just simply because he has that magnetism, it's funny that they mentioned that, because I can remember, let's see, I would argue that that in baseball, before Mike Trout, it was Derek Jeter, and as we recall, Derek Jeter was in the tabloids. I don't think he was necessarily cheating, but he didn't stay with one woman until later in his career. And he was still the face of the league.
That's kind of funny how Kendrick Perkins made that take. It's extremely hypocritical to even say that.
Yeah, and I know it's cross sport, but when you talk about the face of the league, it's not just the NBA they're talking about. It's not just, you can't just talk about the NBA. This is, this is all of sports.
Yeah, because in the NFL, the face of the league is Patrick Mahomes. MLB, Shohei Ohtani. NHL, Connor McDavid. Simple as that. There's no guarantee that any of these faces of the league would have clean profiles anytime soon.
Right. So far they all do. But again, they're human.
Yeah.
And they could be prone to making mistakes.
Yeah. We all make mistakes in our life. And And what would we do with those mistakes? We learn from those mistakes to be better people around the next time. So
and thank you for coming to our TED Talk. Have a good night, everybody.
there we go. So TJ Oshie is joined along in the NHL on ESPN studio with Steve Levy, Mark Messier, and PK Subban. They're all having some fun over there. In the meantime, I know from last night's win for the Oklahoma City Thunder, it was a tight one, but it came down to methods and team defense. As we get the stats here from last night, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with a near 40-point triple-double. It was just one rebound away from a 40-point triple-double. He had 10 assists. And J-Dub with 34 points on 6 of 9 from 3. 5 assists to go but as well. Chet Holmgren, 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 blocks. 9 of 14 from the field. To hold off an effort from the Timberwolves in which they were scoring from all sorts of their players. There's a cast of characters all around them. Shai's cousin, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, with 23 points to lead the way off the bench. 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 9 of 15 from the field. Jaden McDaniels, 22 points, 3 of 6 from 3, has 4 steals. 21 points with Dante DiVincenzo, 5 assists, 7 of 11, 5 of 8 from 3. Anthony Edwards, 16 points, 4 assists. Rudy Gobert, 13 points, 9 rebounds. Naz Reid, 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 of 4. And Terrence Shannon Jr., nice seeing him getting some action in the NBA. Out of the U of Illinois, 9 points, 2 of 3 in 8 minutes played. Nothing more than that. And Alex Caruso with 10 points off the bench for OKC. Cason Wallace with 7 points. Nugent Dort, 2 steals. There are 5 players on the Thunder with at least 2 steals. J-Dub has 3. Dort, Kenrich Williams, Caruso, and Cason Wallace all each have 2. And Jaden McDaniels has 4 of himself on Minnesota. Chet with 3 blocks. But OKC wins a tight one. That game was back and forth to all extents. And you thought that this was going to be down to the wire. And when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander missed a rare free throw, it came to a moment that, could Minnesota potentially steal this? And at that moment in which the ball was out of bounds, I thought that the clock was going to be reset to 0.7. Yet they put it at 0.3. Because I thought the ball went out of bounds at 0.7 on the clock. Well, but nonetheless, in a game that screams defense, this was more... This game showed more of the offensive scoring from everyone throughout. Balanced scoring for Minnesota. The Stars showing up for OKC. But we look at the stats. 14 steals to 8 for the Thunder. 5 to 3 in favor of the blocks for the OKC Thunder too. And both teams each had 19 offensive rebounds. So basically, this game had everything, Ian.
Yeah, and the Thunder, I have the Thunder making it to the final, and you know, if it's, I've been hearing a lot of people, pardon my language, Alec, but I've seen a lot of people bitching about a Pacers and Thunder NBA Finals. I mean, and saying it's going to, you know, it's not going to do well because no one cares about these teams. I'm sorry, what? The Thunder have the MVP of the league. The Pacers are a very well-rounded team. What do you mean no one's going to care about this matchup?
Oh, my goodness.
If I don't, for years, because I remember when it was Cavs Warriors every year, people hated it. They wanted something different. They wanted something, they wanted to see something new. They finally get something new. I don't think a matchup between the Pacers and the Seattle Supersonics ever happened in the final.
I don't think so.
And now you're finally getting it, and you're bitching about it.
These are two small market teams. The last time we saw two small market teams go up against each other in a championship round, you have to look back to the Texas Rangers and the Arizona Diamondbacks 2 years ago.
Yeah,
this confuses us, Ian.
And it's annoying, too, because, so what? You're not going to watch because it's two teams you've never seen before in the finals?
I swear.
I mean, what's the logic in that?
I swear, I'm convinced that NBA fans don't even like the NBA. I'm convinced now.
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
Yeah, this is all so maddening. People wanted parity. You got parity. You got what you asked for. What is enough? This all confuses me. You got best offense up against best defense with a balanced offense. That's a matchup that I would be tuning myself into. I've been covering every NBA final since 2023, and while the NBA isn't at the top of my sports, at the leagues that I watch, I'll tell you, when I see two small market teams make a championship round, I'm happy for both small market teams, because chances are they've been through very hard times. The Thunder have been a playoff team perennially in years past, but they haven't been able to reach that championship that's eluded them. The closest they've been to, you have to go back when they were the Seattle Supersonics in 1996, when they just so happened to run into the greatest team of all time. And then, fast forward to 2012, when a core led by KD, Westbrook, and Harden made it to the NBA Finals, they ran into the Heatles. This time around, the Thunder were the favorites. In 49 out of 50 states, by the way. And they ran into the Heatles, who were motivated after their finals loss in 2011. When you want to credit your successes, I want to point into this. A failure isn't a failure. It's a learning experience. And the 2011 finals loss for the Heat, they learned from that. And they turned that into a championship appearance in the next 3 years, and winning two rings out of those 3 championships in those next 3 years. So, there you go.
Yeah. So for anyone who follows an NBA team, I implore you, whoever makes it to the finals, watch the games, because it is going to be the best basketball you will see all year.
It will. And what I watched in Game 3 of the Knicks and Pacers, I did not regret watching that. That was amazing. That comeback. Everything in that storylines.
Yeah.
And whoever it is between the Thunder, Timberwolves, Knicks, and Pacers, I want all 4 teams to have fun out there. Personally, I'm rooting for the Thunder. I personally am rooting for the Thunder because not just because they're my championship pick, but it's for you. But I want to say, I want all four teams to have fun out there.
Oh yeah, and man, you don't have to hop on the bandwagon. See, here's the thing. I chose the Thunder because they're the closest team to Kansas City, right? I've already made it clear. If Kansas City ever gets professional NHL or basketball teams, my allegiances immediately go to the city. So there's that. But the Thunder, well, what I like about the Thunder is they play a style of ball and the style of defense akin to the more technical-based styles of the 90s. You know, where it wasn't just lay someone out on a foul or go hard at the player trying to score. You know, they steal. They do block. Oh, we're back. I'll finish my point later.
So we're getting back here. To begin the second period, the Stars are still on the power play. They have 153 of carryover power play time. But as you mentioned, effective steals, it's ethical basketball, the way that it should be played. People can complain about free throws, but when you look past the free throws, it's everything that the Thunder play is the way that basketball should be played. Thomas Harley will restart his own zone after an Oiler clear. Harley slows up and then delivers back for Roope Hintz. Hintz was a game-time decision heading into this game. Mikko Rantanen delivers it for Harley and then back for Rantanen. Rantanen delays as Johnson's closed up. Nobody at the far half boards. Duchesne gets there. Harley and Duchesne collected tape to tape. Duchesne going back for Harley, who waits, fires one up, and that one wide. The Stars have just scored 3 times on the power play on the road. This is their 20th power play on the road. Johnston Harley at the left point for Duchesne. Now low, that's one's turned away. And Edmonton gets it out. Zach Hyman left the game midway in the first period. He will not return tonight. So that is a crucial piece that Edmonton will be missing for the remainder of the game. Car crash at the far side. Here's Connor McDavid shorthanded. McDavid has spin. The pass is broken up. Michael Granlund. He'll take it back up. Granlund slowing. And will drop it. Have to get away from an Edmonton forechecker. Back for Granlund. Granlund wanted to get around. But can't. McDavid was in the way. It's Robertson. Delivers it for Sagan. Tyler Sagan back for Jason Robertson. Mason Marchment. Robertson spins it for Sagan. Sagan frees up space for waiting Granlund. 3 seconds. Granlund fires one. Kick save Skinner. Collected by Edmonton to run out the power play. Lead pass towards Podkolzin. Podkolzin partial 2-on-1. Heads towards the slot. Podkolzin backhander. That's high. Collected by McDavid at the far corner. Played out through center. It's collected by John Klingberg, the former Star. Brett Kulak slowing up. Lofted one towards the far corner. The Stars have a -7 goal differential in the second period. The worst of the NHL. Out front! This one's turned away by Oettinger. Oscar Bach tried to play it towards the far boards. It's played up by him. Chip pass towards the far side. Draisaitl's all over the puck. His defensive game has vastly improved this year as opposed to years past. Brand's a defensive liability in years past, but it's glad that he is getting the recognition he deserves after the defensive improvements that Chris Knobloch has challenged him to. That hiring was the best thing to happen to him. Cody Ceci up the middle as this one turned away off the steal. Evander Kane was in the way. Kane, a playoff-type performer. Hounded left and right by Sam Steele. Taken up on a quick shot by Henrique. The puck came loose at the slot. And this is settled down by Colin Blackwell. Up the far side is Jamie Benn. Benn towards the high slot. Blackwell's tied up. And the Oilers go the other way. Stretch pass. Partial break here for the Oilers. Trent Frederick is tied up by Liam Bishop as he was the star that was back all the way on the fence. Dallas sells it down. with Blackwell. Colin Blackwell sells this one towards the near side. Skinner will place one out. Almost ran into his own man. And Skinner is down. Oiler fans thought that there should have been a penalty for the far boards as Edmonton takes it inside. Drop pass. Quick shot inside from Bouchard. And Oettinger will hold it. I'm surprised that there was no penalty on Dallas for interference on Stuart Skinner. So as we get a status update, Zach Hyman, the main concern is his wrist. He will not return tonight, Ian.
That's bad for the Oilers. I will say, I thought it was more friendly fire with Skinner. It looked to me that his teammate was the one that ran into him.
It seemed that way. At the faceoff, they're well in favor of the Stars. The hits are well in favor of the Oilers. For the near side, this is fired around the end boards. The far corner is Frederick held his own. Towards the far corner, McDavid back for Frederick. Frederick wants to get back to RNH. RNH tried to get this back towards the right point. Too many Stars in the way there. Edmonton chipped away that pass as this will be cleared out all the way to the Oilers zone. Frederick sells this one down towards the near side. McDavid inside for Frederick. Frederick slows up. Quick shot. Blocked by Petrovic. And back out towards the Edmonton zone. Duchesne chases after it. Kulak was ahead. Brett Kulak swaps this one around to the near half boards. Evan Bouchard sends this inside. And Oettinger plays it out with Arvidsson on his face. Towards the far half boards. Matt Duchesne got lofted up on Colson with a heavy forecheck. Shot 17-13 Dallas. Thomas Harley tried to play this for Heiskanen. Up the penalty box doors. Marshman tried to play it around, and the Oilers can't get this one into the Dallas zone. Slap pass on Janmark. Arvidsson played it off of Heiskanen. Janmark back for Arvidsson. Arvidsson can't set it up as Harley was all over him. For the far corner, Sagan wants to kick it free, and does. For the middle, Mason Marchment frees up space. Duchesne backs up, and then fakes out a man. Settle this one into the zone. Back deep as this is towards the penalty box doors again. Corey Perry sent it deep again. Petrovic playing this one for Heiskanen. Heiskanen waits, delays. He got rammed down. Dallas collects it up at the Edmonton zone. 1-0. Alec Nava. Ian Genge here. Game 4, Western Conference Final. Kane sends it back over to Perry. Perry waits at the left point. Soft pass over towards the near corners. Kane had it knocked away from him. Perry wanted to sell this back down. Bouncing puck collected at the center point. Towards the right side as Robertson is tying up his man. Through the far corner. Held inside by Kane. Tried to tuck this one as Edmonton as Oettinger stuck the doors. Leon Draisaitl had the zone. Towards the right circle and there's a penalty. Penalty here. There's going to be a one for interference. Corey Perry, 2 for interference, and the Stars head back to the power play. As he sets the pick right upwards as Leon Draisaitl tried to go around. That is a clear pick. And you cannot set a pick to get your guys a clear advantage here on a scoring chance. It'll be Robertson, Marchment, Granlund, Sagan, and Harley to start the Dallas power play. They're 0 for 2 with 2 shots. Best power play of any team remaining here. They scored 3 power play goals in game 1. They have to get back to that mojo and find a goal that gets them all knotted up at 1 apiece. 15.8% on the road in a man advantage for the Stars. They're 42.9% at home. Tie up off the draw in the right circle, picked up by the Oilers, and this will not be a 2-on-1. This will be settled back down by Harley. All 3 power play goals for the Stars were in a 5:26 span in the third period of game 1. Ever since, they have been bageled. Granlund finds Marchment for the far half boards. Marchment wanted to go back for Granlund. He gets tied up. Robertson frees up space towards the slot. Couldn't go there. Harley delays it. And here's Robertson again. Robertson for Harley. Low stick on the ice. That was Janmark's. Granlund sells it down. Drop pass, Harley, one-timer, kick save, and rebounds free. Another swipe at the loose puck. The puck comes over to the far corner. Marchment can't get it as McDavid is closed off. Harley, around for Robertson, also to open space. Save by Skinner. Marchment frees it up back for Robertson. Jason Robertson, who scored his first goal at the playoffs in Game 3. Harley walks the point. Robertson can't shoot if he wants to. Marchment across the ice for Granlund. Back for Harley. Robertson towards the slot. Robertson scores! Jason Robertson! 2 goals in as many games, and this is tied at 1.
Yes. This is what finally. Guys, in hockey, you just got to keep shooting. You keep shooting, and eventually, one of them has to go in. Teams of this caliber.
And that they did. Third time is a charm for the Stars power play. They kept getting chances this time around on the man advantage. And here it pays off. Mason Marchment and Jason Robertson combining on it. Of Robertson going to the slot. And when you go to the slot, good things happen. Tied at 1. Robertson, we will finally see that he'll be due for a breakout performance. He's on the board. Second goal ever since he returned from injury in the Winnipeg series in Game 1. As the Oilers play this one in their own zone. Does this energize the Stars? Wyatt Johnston's out there on the ice. Entering this game was a playoff worst -17. That's the all-time record in NHL playoff history. Should that stand? For the far boards, as the Oilers clear this one out. Bounces up. As we settled down by the Oilers. Stretch pass went off a skate. Dallas wants to counter. Inside, this is set it up. Could not be collected up. Kane. Juggled off of Kasperi Kapanen. Wendell. Slapped this one away. Collected at the Dallas bench by the Oilers. Moving back up front. And he wanted to get this one inside. Kapanen. Playing this over to the near corner. Heiskanen gets shoved by Kapanen. For the far outboards, the Stars play this one up. 3-on-2 as they enter. Centering pass was knocked away by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and played out off the bench wall. Trent Frederick sells it down over the far outboards. Frederick, swing around pass, cut off at the far corner. Dallas will pick it up, and they'll move back up the middle. Moving inside is Sam Steele. As this is sent to the far corner, John Klingberg picks it up. Klingberg to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. RNH played this one off a stick. Dallas sends this towards the near corner again. Wallman towards the far outboards. Henrique closed off. Stars on the hole at the far corner. Duchesne. Duchesne wants to move around. Duchesne fires one. Stopped by Skinner. And another interference penalty. Same penalty that was called against Edmonton is now going to be called against Dallas. It's 2 minutes for interference. And the Oilers can answer back on their own power play as Mason Marchment elbowed Adam Henrique up high. Robertson tied it. The Oilers can make the Stars play. Can make the Stars pay for the interference penalty. We'll be right back.
All right. So, tie game in the second. The power play for Dallas finally comes through.
It was about time for them to get one on the road because they were ailing on the road. They're now 4 of 21, but nonetheless, their power play showed how electric that they can be. How in the world is Burger King making these crossovers with How to Train Your Dragon?
I have no idea.
I guess it's marketing promo. But how about these Pacers, though? They led at halftime. They scored the first 7 points of the third quarter. And, of course, balanced lineup. And if I can make a comparison for this year's Pacers, if you could portray it to a superhero franchise, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's this Pacers core. They're the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I'd have to agree.
Cast-offs and misfits with chips on their shoulders. A whole lot of them. Back here at Rogers Place, where Chris Knobloch is getting interviewed by Emily Kaplan. Hyman, once again, left the game at 10:43 of the first period. The Oilers have converted on their lone power play. It took them 3 shots. The Stars are 1 for 3. They fired at the goal 7 times. Bach and Johnston on the ice with Lindell and Ceci. Is the usual 5, sans Hyman, where he is replaced by Perry for the Oilers on this man advantage. Stars get this one up for the far boards, and they clear this one out. Bouchard collected by the Stars bench. At home, the Oilers are 8 of 14 on the man advantage this postseason. Bouchard slows up and drops back for the charging McDavid. Down the middle, McDavid has been terrific here in this year's playoffs as he's usually been. McDavid cycles around for the left side as he waits for a passing lane. Going over to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, fires it. That one off of Oettinger. It's self-attempt. Can't go for McDavid. Draisaitl pries it up for Bouchard. Bouchard gets it back over to Draisaitl, who waits. Draisaitl back for Bouchard. Delays on the boost bomb for McDavid. RNH goes down low. Kerwin drag out front. Score! Corey Perry! 40 years young. He's still got it. It's 2-1. No Zach Hyman, no problem. Get to the net, get pucks to the net. And it was the right place, right time. And somewhere, Shaquille O'Neal has to be happy about this. As Zach Hyman, he's watching this game. I don't know where he's watching this game. Perhaps in the locker room. But he's got to be thrilled with Perry filling in his place. It's 2-1 Oilers. Every goal in this game has came on the man advantage. And Ian, that was one that Perry absolutely had to have because he has not scored in this series yet. And for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, that's his 9th point of this series. Podkolzin frees up. Deep one-timer kicked out by Oettinger. Podkolzin gets stuffed by Bishop. Up the far side. Bishop clears this one out. One-on-one. Here is Rantanen. Rantanen frees it up towards the spot. Hits. Gets brought down. Penalty coming up against the Oilers. Rope Hits was the one drawing the penalty. And Matthias Janmark trying to allege his case. These two are former teammates. Hansen Janmark. But it'll be Janmark headed to the box. Janmark doesn't believe this is a penalty. But he tried to stick it, but his stick got caught between the legs of Hintz. That is a penalty every day. And Dallas, who just scored on the power play, they can tie it again. The Oilers have to refocus and not allow any slot chances. 31.9% conversion rate in the playoffs. Robertson, Marshman, Granlund, Sagan, Harley, as is usually the case, on the second power play unit. Last time it was the second power play unit that scored for the Stars, and Harley stopped by Skinner. Robertson tried to free it up, collected the far outboards by Granlund, who was watched at that far corner. Bouchard is there. Thomas Harley waits. Going to Robertson, tried to score again. Let's take the bounce. Collected up by Harley for Marchment. Back over to Harley. Walks the right point. Mason Marchment across for Sagan. Robertson going towards the front. Robertson turned away by Skinner in tight. That was a dangerous chance. One-timer was denied by the stick of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. He set the goal for Corey Perry. He denied a goal for Dallas. Harley, Granlund will drop it. Sagan waits. Tyler Sagan will give it to the far corner. Granlund waits. It will go to Marchment. Back over to Granlund, who couldn't handle that one. Marchment shoved at the far side of the corner. And Edmonton gets this one down. We stay 5-on-4 as there's no cross-checking penalty Oettinger will play this one. When keep away, the Oilers trying to goad him into a delay of game penalty. There was none, as he was just onside. Wyatt Johnston trying to play for Hits. Too many Oilers there. Hits with the far out boards, trying to play this one free. To the left point for Heiskanen. There's Shane. Hits. Turning past to Shane awaits. There's Shane. Fires. Saves. Skinner. That was a very eventful power play, if anything. Jake Oettinger almost got himself into trouble because there was nobody there for the Stars to collect it up. That almost was an if you're a goaltender, tend to goal. Oh my goodness. That almost was a dang it. Almost killed the play for the Stars, in which it could have been a freebie for the Oilers. Heiskanen off the face-off win by Dallas. Rantanen settles back for Heiskanen. Towards the left side to Shane. Heiskanen fakes the drive. Now fires this one. Skinner. Then it may even have to make a save because that was blocked in front. Oettinger will run this one through. And Heiskanen. Deep stretch pass to Rantanen. Rantanen gets closed off in time by Podkolzin. Podkolzin played directly onto the Shane. Bouchard fires it down the distance. And the Oilers survive this one. There were several chances by the Stars, but the Oilers held firm, and the Stars survive a scare from Jake Oettinger. Up the far side, Esa Lindell dumps it in. Sam Steele closed off. Picks up at the far corner. Steele centered up for Blackwell. Two Oilers there. And they'll move back with Vander Kane and Trent Frederick. Kane's pass where Frederick went off a stick. Frederick tried to play this one free, but overskate the momentum. Dallas places one back. Sent it over to the near corner. Blackwell shoves one of the Oilers to the wall as the puck came free towards the near half boards. Centering pass, no offside here, collected by Harley. Harley put Kane on ice skates. Not like he is on Eddie though. Harley over towards the middle. Harley gets sticked away. Bouncing puck. And this one came close towards Skinner. At the near corner, Steele. Out it and goes back for Ceci. Ceci a drive. Kick save and the rebound swept wide. Corey Perry. Perry towards the far boards. Not enough oomph on that pass as Blackwell held his own. To Gretzky's office. The pass came out in front and that was blocked. Ceci on the hold. Going back towards Gretzky's office. Darnell Nurse read the lane on Jamie Benn. Draisaitl. Moving in with room at the near half boards. Draisaitl waits for help. Draisaitl sharp angle turned away by Oettinger. The Stars can't play this one out as it's held by Frederick. Frederick shot redirected and is stopped by Oettinger. Sagan freed it up towards the near boards. Matt Duchene carries it in. Marshman tried to play it, but cannot. The Stars will try again, but can't. The Oilers overskate it, and it'll be collected by Bishop. Up the far boards, a little too far, and it's no icing. With 6:20 to go in the second period. Kolak played it free. The Oilers almost ran into some trouble. Frederick up the near side boards. First one there is Bishop. Frederick can't hold it on the near half boards. Dallas want to counter. 25-19, the shots in favor of the Stars. They've been the aggressors in the first period. Edmonton counter with their own pressure. McDavid will play this one back and then get the receiving pass back. Frederick back up front for McDavid. 14-11, the scoring chances in favor of the Stars. Less than 6 minutes ago here in the second period. The centering pass was knocked away. Dallas is all over it as Kapanen fires a blast from the blue line to Jake Oettinger, who makes the quick stop. He was not expecting a Kapanen bomb from the blue line. Leon Draisaitl, Corey Perry, Kasperi Kapanen, you name it, the Oilers have been on the driver's seat ever since the Perry goal here in the second period. For the most part. We'll be back in a moment. So in the meantime, checking what the Knicks and Pacers, 83-76. It's the Pacer lead midway in the third quarter. Of course, we love to watch these two star guards and the all-round ensemble because this is the this is the conference finals that has a lot of star power. Jalen Brunson was 17, Karl-Anthony Towns was 19, along with 7 rebounds for the Cat. Tyrese Halliburton with 21 points, Pascal Siakam 19 points. And even though he's not a star, but a rather high-end role player, Aaron Nesmith, the former Celtic, with 16 points. Gotta be happy that he is thriving on the Pacers. 2-1 Oilers as we come back here with 5:39 left in the second period. Every goal has been a power play goal in Game 4. Leon Draisaitl, Jason Robertson, and now Corey Perry, who's played on both the Stars and the Oilers. Perry was a third liner on the Stars in 2020. Now he's a fourth liner on the Oilers and the twilight of his career, but he's still got some juice left in him. Robertson's on the bench. Draisaitl's on the ice. 60 career playoff goals for Perry, tied for fourth most among active players. Off the draw, won by the Stars, as they want to get this one down the far end of the ice. This puck may have been played with a high stick, and it's touched up by Edmonton, but because it was touched by Dallas before, Edmonton had to play it. A high stick play was waved off. Oettinger, right behind his crease, played out by Dallas. Loose stick on the ice, that was one of the Stars. Up the far side as Dallas takes it inside. Deep shot, airmailed, as will be blocked away by Skinner. For Jake Wallman. Wallman, up the far side. This one played off the glass from the Oiler bench. 5:04 to go here in the second period. Our good friend John Ott. Shout out to him doing the Knicks-Pacers game. And to check in on the NBA side of things in the Eastern Conference Final. Last year's Eastern Conference Final between the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers was the definition of a close sweep. On the surface, it looks like a sweep, but it didn't play out to be a sweep. 5:04 remains here. Second quarter. Oilers lead 2-1 here. Alec Nava, Ian Genge, here with you. Stars win a faceoff too cleanly, and it goes out to their own zone. Cody Ceci hounded by his former teammates. Thomas Harley picks it up for the far side. It's a cross-ice pass. Inside it goes for Mikko Rantanen, who waits. Rantanen pins towards the far and near side boards. Hits. Want to go to Robertson, skips past him. Rantanen holds. Collects on him. Robertson collects it. The pass where Ceci went off a stick. Ceci held it. And around to the far half boards. Kept in by Harley. Around behind the net for Robertson. Pinned by Kulak. Robertson puts on a shove on McDavid, who is back out there. Connor McDavid trying to play this one out. Evan Bouchard's also in the midst of the scuffle. The puck came free towards the swat for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. A play for Frederick, and it takes a bounce. Frederick playing this one deep. Will be recollected by the Stars. Cody Ceci playing this one deep, and this will be collected by the Stars, with Troy Stecher getting beat out by Colin Blackwell. Right behind the net. And this is a slapper that went wide, bouncing puck for Petrovic, kept in deep. Blackwell behind the crease. Darnell Nurse there. Nurse fakes the pass, and he'll delay some more. Nurse up the near side, Podkolzin beat out by Bischel, as Bischel puts on the brakes on Podkolzin for the near half boards. Nurse held the zone. Arvidsson can't hold it any further as the Stars clear it. Nurse skating backwards as he's pivoting. Across for Stecher, with Blackwell watching. Up the far side, we have a whistle. 3:24 to go here in this middle frame. And the Oilers fans at the Moss Pit are doing the conga line again. This is something that they've done here all throughout the postseason as we had to break. And for one, Ian, the power play has been the main story of Game 4. A lot of the 5-on-5 play has been dictated by the Stars, but the power play has been firmly in control of this game. It's not just the Oilers power play, the Stars power play has a say, but special teams so far in this game, advantage Oilers.
Agreed. And with that being said, actually, you know what? The fact that we're saying that John Klingberg in 2020 is playing quality defensive minutes in the playoffs in 2025 is probably the one storyline that no one is talking about, but everyone should be talking about.
It helps with... Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, a few years ago, that man's career was dead. He was on his last legs in Anaheim.
And now, he got a flight out of Robidas Island and found a quality defensive defenseman to play next to in Jake Wallman, which helps a lot. And John Klingberg's defense has been a key revival. We don't know where he's going to end up, but this is a nice storyline to follow with Klingberg's revival being a case. Do remember, last year, he was on Robidas Island. He was injured for most of the 2024 season while on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Face-off won by the Stars, but it goes all the way back at their own zone. 2-1 Oilers lead. Every goal has been a power play goal. Seguin has the pass broken up, intended for him. Heiskanen picks it up for the far side. Heiskanen sends it in deep. Collected at the near corner. This one played at the near half boards for Henrique. Charging down is Draisaitl. Draisaitl fires. Kick save Oettinger. Draisaitl plays it to himself. Along for Klingberg. The very guy that we mentioned. Klingberg fires. Blocked out in front. Friendly fire though. And here's Seguin, who drives it inside towards the far side. Across the ice. And a good block on the pass there to deny that chance. The Oilers return the favor of Kapanen. Kapanen tried to drop it back. Draisaitl controls it. Draisaitl's backhander blocked by Heiskanen. Draisaitl holds onto it at the right point. Across for Stetcher. Unloads one. A soft shot. Made its way to Ottinger's glove. With 2:31, no deflection. The Oilers' defense and offense have been causing problems here late in the second period for the Dallas Stars. And one of the underrated storylines here for the Oilers is their team defense. For as many question marks that they have, the defense rises to the occasion in the playoffs when we least expect it. The faceoff coming to the right of Oettinger with Connor McDavid out there. 1 assist, 2 shots on 13:47 of ice time. Fans clapping here, or the drums sounding. 5 Stanley Cups in Oilers franchise history. They have not won one since 1990 with Mark Messier and Bill Ranford. A stick lift. It'll be brought back to Harley. Up the far half boards. Dallas wings this one inside. There are too many sticks there. Collected up by Perry and then brought back towards the Edmonton near corner. Slowing up is Nurse. Nurse fires around the near half boards. Harley's the first one to the puck. It came free. Bounced off Perry. It'll be collected at center ice. The Oilers slowing the action down with Brett Kulak. Kulak out there as the Oilers make a partial change. Pass out in front. A little too far from McDavid, but it's swung around by Perry. RNH trying to collect it up right behind the crease. He is tied up by 3 Stars. White, Johnson, Thomas, Harley included. McDavid wants to get it free. There's some movement at the puck at that far corner. And it's pried free. Walking the point is Bouchard. Bouchard holds onto it for McDavid. McDavid around Johnston. McDavid drops back for Perry. Perry, Nurse, and then around for Bouchard. Evan Bouchard walks around the point. Does a low stick handle on Jamie Benn. Bouchard right behind the net. Now comes down in front. Towards the front. Perry tried to stuff it in. Couldn't do so. Perry freed it up for McDavid. Has Harley on him. McDavid surveys. Walks across for Bouchard. 47 seconds of zone time and counting. McDavid's around the point. Bouchard gets a return feed. Bouchard will drop back for McDavid. McDavid going back towards the point. The Oilers are toying with the Stars here on this offensive possession. Bouchard unloads one. And that one blocked in front. Goes out of play with 59.5 seconds left in the second. Boy, the Oilers have been everywhere on this puck. And Evander Kane is being looked on for a possible concussion in the locker room. He has 8 scoring chances in the series. He is not on the bench. And for the Oilers, they already lost Zach Hyman. And Kane is being looked at for a concussion. 10 points in the playoffs, third most by a player who missed the regular season. Dallas wants to get it out of their own zone. They win the faceoff. Moving up for the near half boards. Streaking down is Heiskanen. Heiskanen shoved towards the wall by Draisaitl. And another bump here at the near corner. The Oilers pry free. Podkolzin sends it down. He may ice it. He does. 38.9 to go here in the second period. This postseason, the Oilers have 7 skaters with at least 5 goals this postseason. When the Stars score 2 goals, when the Stars have allowed 2 goals or fewer, they are perfect 7-0. When they allow at least 3 goals, they have a losing record. But they have to score some here. 2-1 lead for Edmonton. Do remember last year, Game 6, it was a 2-1 Oiler victory on a Herculean effort from Stuart Skinner. 32 seconds left in the frame. Moving up for the middle is Jake Wallman. Wallman delivers this one backwards for the far half boards. Quick shots kicked out by Skinner. Held by Podkolzin in the zone. Podkolzin swings it around. Up at the far half boards for Draisaitl. Walking the point now is Wallman. Got it back for Draisaitl. Draisaitl played it for Kapanen. And then back for Wallman. Wallman towards the net. Saved by Oettinger. And 10 seconds to go. Edmonton once again keeping it in. Darnell Nurse held his own. Van on the shot. And it's going to be a partial break at the buzzer. The Oilers reach back to it in time to deny Rope hits a chance. And they end the period with a 2-1 lead. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with a big defensive recovery to end the period. What a period this was, Ian.
Yep, and I'll tell you what, the Stars, they're within striking distance. But right now, they have to get one more. They have to find the back of the net 2 more times at least to win. Could be more if the Oilers get one past them. But for now, just focus on getting that one to tie it up.
I do remember, these two are 2 of the best third period teams in the NHL. The Stars were the best third period team in the regular season. The Oilers are the best third period team in the playoffs. So, it's basically a clash of who shows up in the third period more. We profiled this in Game 1 of this series. And when we did so, we saw the Stars score 5 goals in Game 1. 3 of them on the power play. We don't anticipate anything like this happening again because it took a total meltdown by the Oilers for that to happen. So, meanwhile, as they go along at the NHL, at the MLB side, we do have some final results. The Dodgers beat the Guardians 9-5. We have Shohei Ohtani launching a home run and Max Muncy doing the same thing. Michael Conforto. So the home runs from Ohtani, Conforto, and Muncy. Game-winning run scored by Andy Pages on a fielding error by Martinez. A fielding error by Angel Martinez of the Guardians. The Detroit Tigers win 3-1 over the San Francisco Giants. Wenzel Perez with a home run, and Riley Green with 2 RBIs, 1 a double, and the other a base hit. The Philadelphia Phillies 2-0 over the Atlanta Braves. Max Kepler and JT Realmuto, the only runs. The St. Louis Cardinals, where did they come from? They won 7-4 over the Baltimore Orioles, who've been sagging along. The Cardinals scored the final 4 runs of the game. I'm amazed by the Cardinals because we expected nothing out of them, yet they're in contention for the top spot in the NL Central, and we're wondering to ourselves, where did they come from?
You know what? The Cardinals have always had what Tree has called the pixie dust of bullshit. That they always find some of it stashed away somewhere, and they use it. It's their magical pixie dust.
Yep. It's not just with Nolan Arenado or Lars Nootbaar, who, by the way, was 3 for 4. How the seasons that Alec Burleson, Mason Wynn have been in something to watch, and Ivan Herrera, 359 batting average at this point in time. You talk about pixie dust. Pixie dust.
Yeah.
I know the Cardinals have full of them, but Ryan Helsley doesn't even believe in pixie dust. He believes in hell's bells.
Yep, that man is a flamethrower. I will be the first to admit I respect his game.
Little old dude Trevor Hoffman whenever hell's bells ring so long at Busch Stadium. And the Minnesota Twins 4-2 over the Tampa Bay Rays. They get runs from Cody Clemens, Ty France, and some from Brooks Lee. A second baseman as Lee hit a sac fly and he grounded to a fielder's choice. Ryan Jeffers scored on an error in that sequence for the Twins. And getting the win for Minnesota, Joe Ryan. 6 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts, 2.57 ERA in this span. But John Duran, ERA of 1.07. And typically for closer, you want ERAs up under 2. Maybe even at 150. Because that's right. Because for the best of the best closers, that's someone like a Duran or Emmanuel Clase, even though for him having his fair share of struggles early this season. But also, among closers, you want the best. And meanwhile, the Miami Marlins are up 6-0 before the San Diego Padres even had a chance to get on the bats. 6-0.
Sorry, if I'm not really engaged in baseball right now, the Cincinnati Reds are once again kicking in the teeth of my Royals, and I just, we're starting to see what happens when the pitching staff has their faults, which they're going to have, and just how absolutely useless the offense is. I mean, Alec, it is painful. This team, this offense, doesn't know what they're doing. They don't know. First of all, they don't work the count. They don't work the at-bats. If I was a manager, I want my players, my batters, every time when they're up there to go 5 or 6 pitches at least per bat. And if they don't, I'm cussing them out. That'd make me a terrible manager. But when you're getting out on one pitch, 2 pitches, 3, and they're ground outs and fly outs, that's unacceptable. I don't care that you play in a ballpark that is notoriously hard to hit home runs in. One guy, Ellie De La Cruz, has gotten 2 home runs on 2 swings in your ballpark. So I don't want to hear that excuse. Other players outside the organization can do it. Why can't you? And if you're not going to hit the ball, walk the bases. And they're not doing that. Salvador Perez has a 622 OPS right now. He is terrible. He cannot hit worth a damn. He has regressed hard, and they don't have a quality backup option.
Not Freddie Fermin?
Unfortunately, Freddie has. He's been inconsistent, and I like the guy, but unfortunately for him, they're not going to slot him in as the primary catcher, and they're going to shoehorn. And unfortunately, and the biggest problem about Salvi is he's supposed to be the cleanup guy, the guy with the big power. He is grounded into more double plays in the past week than I've seen any other Royal ground into in the past month. I'm just pulling that out of my rear end. I don't know if that's true, but that's what it seems like. Oh, look, a guy's on first. Oh, look, you have first and second with no outs, and Salvador Perez is up. Oops. It's now a guy on third with 2 outs, and the next guy after that can't drive the run in. So you had first and second with no outs, and it's a complete waste because your number 4 hitter in your lineup can't put the ball in the outfield anymore.
It's frustrating.
It is frustrating. And this team has a top 5 pitching staff. All right. The scores against the Reds are abnormally bad by our pitching staff. They don't have outings like this, but unfortunately, we've been riding them so hard. Of course, they're going to have their rough stretches. That's where the offense should be picking them up. They're not. And there's really no easy fix. And the worst part is, Jack Caglione is raking in the minors right now. And it's unfortunately, this is going to be detrimental, not because of him, but because of the fact the Royals have no offense. So if they bring him up, the expectation is he will be the savior of this offense, and he shouldn't have to be. This should already... Bobby Witt Jr. is 7 for his last 41. Now, I don't criticize Bobby a lot, but, dude, you signed a decade-long contract for a lot of money. You need to get your head on straight and start hitting the ball. Same thing with Jonathan India. We traded one of our starting pitchers, the guy who cooked you in this game, Brady Singer. You have not been posting the numbers you should be. You are a leadoff hitter, hitting 230, and the defense is subpar. The only bright spots I can say that have been on this team is Michael Garcia. Garcia has been better than expected. because he went cold last season. You couldn't find a quality at bat outside of the first half month of the season last season. But he's one of the best hitters. Unfortunately, there's just a bunch of fringe guys. And one of the guys you can count on for a hit is in your ninth hole, which is fine, but you can't move him out of there because he doesn't have any stats outside of being the ninth hole hitter, that being Kyle Isbell. It's just they don't have anyone they can go to right now, and no one seems to be getting on them about it. Or at least it doesn't seem like it.
It's the cricket's all about the noise.
Yeah, and unfortunately, unlike Toronto, Kansas City fans, unless it's about football, they don't. I mean, no, the fans criticize them, but the media, no, they can't. And unfortunately, I don't think anything's gonna. What they need to do right now is trade for an outfield bat. They need to trade for a bat because they're floundering right now. Let me give you an idea. Oh, it's actually worse. Listen to this. So Jonathan India on base at 232 on base percentage, on base plus slugging 632. Salvador Perez hitting 227 with a 620 OPS. Michael Massey, who has now been moved down to the 8th spot in the lineup, 212 with a 500 OPS. He has the worst OPS in the league.
Oh.
Among all qualified hitters. Alec, I cannot tell you right now. And unfortunately, there's no other than Jack Caglione. There's really no one and they just got beat. But yeah, so they have to go, and to avoid a sweep, they have to beat Hunter Green tomorrow. Good luck. But yeah, right now, the Royals are barely. I don't even think they're in the playoff squad right now. I think they fell out of the wild card with this loss. But even if they haven't, they're not a playoff team. They're out of the wild card now.
Yes.
Which, you know what? I hope listen. For a small market team like the Royals, you can't just start making trades on a whim because it can set you back years. Because you don't have a lot. Okay? And you don't have a lot of money to spend because the owners we keep getting now, but apparently John Sherman is supposedly all in with the Royals being winners. I hope that's the case. But right now is the time to make a move. You have to find a bat somewhere because there is nothing right now. Your leadoff, your cleanup hitter, and your number 8 hitter all have an OPS under 650. And Bobby Wood Jr. has gone cold right now. You know, Vinny has his moments, but he's still coming back from an injury.
Yeah.
I don't think he's fully healed. But they don't seem to have, and they keep bringing up guys from the minors. You know, good for those guys. And in this series, a guy's making his major league debut, John Rave. So there's some guys here that they brought up out of necessity because Hunter Renfroe was freaking terrible before they DFA'd him. And they don't have anyone else. And they need to find an answer quickly. See, the thing about the Royals, Alec, it's not the lack of home run power that they apparently have in this stretch wouldn't be a problem if they were actually hitting the ball. But they can't even make contact.
That's the first priority, which it poses the need for a bat.
And they can't score. Okay, we're back, but
yeah, the point still stands, though. The need for an outfield bat at right now because the bats are not quicking. But the third period is underway here. Oilers trying to preserve their 2-1 lead. The Stars have the most comebacks in this year's postseason in the third period. Wyatt Johnson's shot is blocked, and here's a 2-on-1 the other way. Leon Draisaitl's backhander went off a skate. Draisaitl with the loose puck, swept away by Lindell, comes out to the far boards for Granlund. Granlund played this one deep. The icing gets waved off. Play across the corners for Wallman, who turns it over to Rantanen. Rantanen full spin. Rantanen! Glove saved by Skinner. This went off of him as it's picked up by Edmonton again. The Oilers have been good in the third period throughout this postseason. So have the Stars, so they cancel each other out here. Oettinger play this behind. It'll be Thomas Harley will go across to Cody Ceci. Ceci up the far boards. This one deflected deep and right onto the mesh. Let's go Oilers Jets here. Well, Evander Kane is back on the bench. So he is given the signal to go. He quit. We have the status from the concussion spotters that they have pulled him from the game so as to monitor him for concussion. Kane has cleared concussion protocol. He is back in the game. Up the near side as this one played out towards the right point. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins goes in. RNH shot is blocked. Gets it right back onto the slot. Soft shot was stopped by Oettinger on Perry. And Thomas Harley will swing it around for Ceci. Cody Ceci's pass intercepted. The Oilers walk back in onto the high slot. McDavid sticked away. Held in by Bouchard. Harley can't slow the puck down. Sharp angle shot turned away by Oettinger. And the Stars will go back. 3-on-3 as they take it inside. Hits, fires it around for the near boards. Back it's Kulak who plays it for Bouchard. Bouchard onto the near half boards. Bischel held the zone. Onto the far half boards. The Stars trying to try it and can't do so as it was blocked by Bouchard up front. Bouchard carries the puck inside. Bouchard holds up. Bouchard wants to pass it. Comes towards the slot. Oettinger with a big save. Big one there for the Otter as he had a grade A look right in front of him from Vasily Podkolzin. 4 Oilers were in the zone on the rush right back for Evan Bouchard. He did a no-look pass to Podkolzin right between the legs, and then Podkolzin tried to elevate it, but that space right between the glove side and the left pad was just closed off on time. Matt Duchene and Leon Draisaitl on the draw. Draisaitl is kicked out. So it'll be Kane taking the face-off. The Oilers have 16 goals off the rush. They excel on rush chances. Kane wins the draw. Troy Stecher grabs it. Stecher's long shot made its way to Oettinger as Hunter the Lynx is standing up from the stair rails. From the near corner, Edmonton gets it free, but they can't get this one down. Stuart Skinner will sell this one behind. Play this one into trouble. Troy Stecher helps him out. Mason Marchment wants to keep this one alive, and he does, with Skinner back on the crease. Marchment to the left point. Lindell misfired the pass for Heiskanen. Heiskanen recollects it at the far side. Lindell fires it down. Skinner slowing the action down. Up the far boards. This one deflected up. Long shot from Heiskanen. Never made its way towards the goal. It'll be collected by the Oilers. They skate this one out onto center ice. Pass bounced up, and it is Podkolzin. Podkolzin, sharp angle, hit the net at the side of the cage, and Heiskanen left it to the far half boards. Dallas trying to go back. Too many Oilers there, and on the way back it is Victor Arvidsson, and Crapper's kicked out by Oettinger. Up the far side, the Oilers on the hold. Arvidsson can't hold the puck, but is held by Klingberg. Klingberg stuffed by Ben. Former teammates right on one another. Back inside are the Stars, but no further. For the far side of the ice, as this is sent in deep, no icing. It is waved off as Oettinger plays to the far corner for Petrovic. Alex Petrovic slows it down. Up the far boards, this one bounced right onto Sam Steele. Or Oscar Bachrader. This shot deflected out of play by Klingberg. Still it's a 2-1 game, but it's not anywhere close to that Game 6 last year in which the Oilers goalied the Stars. Never forget that game. The shot differential in that game was 34-10 Dallas. The final score, 2-1 Edmonton, including a highlight reel marker by McDavid. The goal of the entire playoffs. Take your pick between this one and his nasty assist to Corey Perry in the Stanley Cup Final. Take your pick. Either one's a beauty. Nugent-Hopkins will take the face-off after McDavid is tossed out. 2 goals in the last 4 road games for the Dallas Stars as the Oilers win the draw. Robertson had the only goal in Game 3 in a 6-1 Oiler victory. Up at the slot, right down low, deflected off of Perry. This went off Oettinger, I believe. McDavid frees it up for Perry. Perry kicks out left point. Brett Kulak blasts one. Oettinger to stop. For the far half boards. McDavid tangled up. And that frees up the space for Harley. Harley's canceled out by Bouchard. And then fires this one around the far end boards. Sam Steele hounded by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Taking up space by the Oilers. For the far side. Sent in deep. For the far corner. 6 shots this period. All of them by the Oilers. Wyatt Johnson gets bumped. This puck bounced onto the high slot where it's Jamie Benn collecting. Harley. Shots 10-9 Oilers in the second period. 16-10 Stars in the first period. Puck rolls slowly towards the far half boards. The Oilers resetting. John Klingberg advances. Fired it wide of Oettinger intentionally with the Stars clearing. And then back is Edmonton playing keep away from Jason Robertson. They cycled a full 200 feet of the distance. Fired down the distance from Kasperi Kapanen. It is icing. Mikko Rantanen's out there on the ice. He has 9 goals this postseason. He had so many chances, but has not found the back of the net. He has not scored since the Winnipeg series in the early stages of that series. The Finnish Mafia needs to come through here. So far, they've been quiet. Heiskanen faked the shot, the face-off, and then fires one. Skinner stayed with him. No deflection from Rantanen. He has no goals in his last 6 games and counting. Tied for the second longest drought in his playoff career. And for a Conn Smythe Trophy favorite, you have to show up in the big moments. You have to find a way around the Oiler defense. The stoppages have been going up and more common around here as of late. Hits. Wins another face-off. Lindell blasts one. That's wide. Rantanen keeps up space, but there is nothing there. Heiskanen got tangled up. Hence on the hold. Around for Rantanen. Mikko Rantanen. Want the backhand for Robertson and then back for Rantanen. Rantanen held on the backhand. He is closed off from all sorts of space towards the inside. He's forced on the outside. No arm up in the air. The Oilers clear. Back out is Lindell, who finds Heiskanen. Kerwin drag move on the spin. Around Vasily Podkolzin. Heiskanen by Trent Frederick. Through the far side. Sent inside. Rantanen the first one back, but there are 2 Oilers in front. Sliding down is Brett Kulak. He takes Rantanen with him. Incidental contact. And this could not be held by hits. Bishop could not send this one towards the goal. This bounced off the stanchion, collected in the near half boards, and played out by Janmark. Moving up the near side is a partial 2-on-1. Whip around pass, and there's nothing for Vander Kane as he was tangled up on the shot. Mason Marchment on the way back. Canceled on the shot. And at the near side, Janmark plays this back for Bouchard. Across for Kolak. Waiting with this one. Through the far half boards, the Oilers take it in. Kane. And it's just sliding on the knees now. Play back for Bouchard. Evan Bouchard. Slow bouncing puck onto the far half boards as there's nothing towards the goal. And it's a streaky clear. One player from each team collides with one another. We stay 5-on-5 as Marchment was in the middle of it. Sagan sends it back and Sagan falls down. All of a sudden this ice surface is getting a little slippery. All the way back is Nurse. Who plays this one around for Stetcher. For the far half boards, this takes a bounce. And this is taken up a Blackwell. Skinner played it for Nurse on a dangerous bounce. Harley, Perry tangles him up. Perry sends it down the distance. This icing is waved off. This is not enough. Cody Ceci was on last year's Oilers team. Jamie Benn finds him. Ceci leads the breakup for the far side. Up the middle, Steele had it knocked away from him. The Oilers come back with Connor McDavid. McDavid will stop at the top of the left circle. Several for Perry. Perry fires. Save Oettinger. Held inside by Klingberg. Perry frees up space for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Going back towards the left point. Wallman a crupper. It's bounced up and high. Picked up by the Stars. And it is played up. Intended for Steele. They've iced it. Corey Perry with a valiant effort. And one of the fans looks like a Jay Woodcroft lookalike. Kind of funny thinking about it. About Jay Woodcroft and his time with the Edmonton Oilers. He managed to coach them to a conference finals appearance in 2022. And ever since the Oilers won the Battle of Alberta, they've taken off from there. Off the face-off, Klingberg cycles his one around to the right circle. Surveying around on the backhand. Sends this towards the near corner. Edmonton's been buzzing here in this third period. As Kasperi Kapanen has been pinned by Cody Ceci towards the boards. Draisaitl frees it up towards the point. Klingberg cannot locate it. Taking his back up as Wallman. Shots are 26 each. Kapanen will play this one towards Oettinger, who makes a kick save. Heiskanen plays this one out onto the left point. Frees up the space for Lindell. Slowly gets things up for Granlund. Michael Granlund gets plastered along the left point by Troy Stetcher. What a big hit by a man who missed the entirety of the playoffs of an injury last year. He played all of 7 regular season games when he was acquired by Edmonton last year, as we have another big hit. At the near corner, Heiskanen ran to a buzzsaw. Podkolzin waited a little too long there, but he had nowhere to pass to. Dallas wants to get back. Robertson gets tangled up. With the far side hits, falls down as he loses an edge. Bringing out space for the Oilers to come back here. 2-on-2. They'll wait at the right point. And cycle around as Petrovic read the lane. Up the near side boards. Podkolzin staying with hits. That frees up the space for Bouchard. Arvidsson on the lead pass. Drops it for Janmark. Janmark to the net. Swept away in time by Dallas. No shot. From the near corner, Mikko Rantanen got back there on time. Nugent-Hopkins on Bishop. Size advantage Bishop, but he falls down. Nugent-Hopkins playing keep away. Rantanen got a stick right on RNH. McDavid's out there. This is cleared out by Dallas. And then back deep is Bouchard. RNH has 9 points in this series. 2 assists tonight. Stars will restart their own zone. Forwarded on deep on the bouncing puck as Duchesne tangled up his man on the pass. Never made his way to Sagan, who was all alone to swat. Perry now will move it for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. No icing. Oettinger will play this one out onto the far side. Where's Ceci for Harley. Now back for Sagan. Tyler Sagan carries it inside. Right behind the net is Jake Wallman playing it for John Klingberg. Gets tied up by 2 Stars. Klingberg freed it up for Wallman. Wallman backhands it for Klingberg and then back for Wallman. Evander Kane tried to get open. Wallman's getting chased. He has the puck now. Near the halfway mark of the third period. Moving up the near side is Draisaitl, who waits. Draisaitl to pass across. Never made its way there. Trent Frederick ties up 2 Stars. Then inside is Michael Granlund. Granlund, sharp angle. Never made it to Skinner. With the far half boards. Kept inside by Dallas, but it is towards the far half boards to Evander Kane. Past the halfway mark of the third period. Oilers lead 2-1. Essa Lindell recollected at his own zone for the far corner. Bounced up and is Granlund. Granlund to Robertson. Jason Robertson watched at the near half boards. Robertson shoved wide. Robertson forced it around. Past Johnston. Rantanen couldn't pick it up as he was all tangled up. Towards the far side. Waiting with it is Janmark, the former star. Janmark carrying it inside for Stetcher. Stetcher inside. Sticked away by Lindell. And finally, we have a stoppage with 9:20. Oh, you can take a breath here. So much action here in this third period. But it's been defense, defense, and even more defense. Back in a moment here from Alberta's capital. So what they have confirmed on the schedule in the future is Stars-Oilers Game 5 and the Champions League final between PSG and Inter Milan. Not sure if I will cover the closeout game between the Thunder and the Timberwolves tomorrow. That is TBD. But meanwhile, the Pacers, they're having it their way in the middle of the fourth quarter against the Knicks. It seems that the Pacers, they could be in line for a win, but as is seen in this series, and what we learned in games 1 and 3, no lead is safe.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah. No lead is safe at all.
Yep. Not even if it's a 9-point lead with a minute left to go in a quarter.
Yeah.
I can't believe that we have ourselves 2 comebacks in this game and one of them by each team. That the Pacers were able to pull off that comeback down 17 with 6 minutes to go. That's defying all odds. These are not zombies. These are the Guardians of the Galaxy. When you count them out, you know they have a plan up their sleeve. Not exactly causing chaos, but saving the universe. Back here in Edmonton, the Stars win another face-off. That's been their key here throughout this game and this series. Skinner plays this towards the far side. Bounced up. It'll be recollected at the far half boards. Held inside for the moment by Dallas. Took 2 whacks, but the Oilers clear it out. Lindell across for Heiskanen. With Robertson watching. This goes back deep for Lindell. Lindell towards the near side. Robertson on the entry as this is fired deep. Evan Bouchard wanted to go after it. The puck takes a bounce towards center point. Lindell waits. Sends it to Heiskanen at the far corner. Robertson tries to tuck it inside. And Skinner shut the door. The puck came free for a moment. Picked up by the Oilers now. There was a stick lift from Robertson from behind as Perry sent this towards the near corner. Close call there for Stuart Skinner, but he's been locked in from the opening minute of this game. The only goal that he allowed was the Jason Robertson shot, but he was screened in front. One of the Stars tried to weave his way through. No icing as this was deflected. Cody Ceci playing this one back for Dallas. Ceci towards the far side. Gets the return feed from Rantanen. Ceci towards the far boards. The Oilers in the way to intercept that. This one deflected up. Edmonton waiting. They'll send this off to the far side. Kapanen in pursuit. Chasing after Thomas Harley. Harley holds up for the far boards. Sent in deep. Where Skinner will collect it up. Behind him. Up to the far side. Henrique tried to send it up front. Can't do so. Kapanen will play it again. Slows up. Waits for the 2-on-1. Kapanen goes out in front. And getting tied up with Troy Stetcher. These two have connected before. And they're not laying their foot off the gas pedal. Not any moment. Soon. Jake Wallman backs up all the way to his own zone. Granwell watches onwards. This puck takes a bounce. No icing as it's waved off. Oettinger plays this one out to the far side. Sam Steele towards the boards. Sends this one around the far side. Edmonton wants to play it out. This goes by Heiskanen on the chase. It is Arvidsson. 8-2 the shots in favor of the Oilers. They lead 2-1. Deflected up and a car crash towards the Dallas blue lines. Arvidsson plays it in. Arvidsson sticked away by Petrovic. Petrovic still with him. The puck came free for Janmark, who plays this one all the way out, and it was misplayed towards the left point. Skinner left it behind for Kane. Wallman. One of these teams avoided too many on the ice penalty. Rope Hintz watching the puck with 6:38 to go. The Oilers starting now. This one sent in deep with Oettinger coming out. Lindell there. He decides to go to Heiskanen through the far side. Dallas waits and they'll send it via Lindell around the near boards. Rantanen closed off. Picked up by Robertson. Rantanen tried to free space up. The Oilers were all over it. Their forecheck has been tenacious, and they are playing like a team that's unfinished business. McDavid across, and quick shot is turned away by Oettinger. Evander gave a great A-look. He was turned away on a nice pass from McDavid. Lindell flipped it up high. Brett Kulak tied up his man. Freed the space up, right behind for Bouchard. Evan Bouchard towards the near side. But the Oilers win the counter. Kapanen lead the way back. Oettinger once again playing this one out. Henriquez all over the puck on Cody Ceci. For the far corner, Dallas wanting to tie the game up. They're playing from behind before. They're playing from behind again. Right behind, it is Edmonton. Around the zone with Kulak setting up. The puck hangs loose in front. And the Stars will pick it up with Tyler Seguin. Draisaitl hounding him. Seguin towards the far corner. Whips it around into the far corner. DeShane out in front. This takes a bounce. Loose stick is on the ice. Seguin cannot tie this game up. Seguin surveys left circle. Seguin waits. Says what's to go. Skinner of a stop on the 5-hole. Tyler Seguin robbed point blank. And the Oiler defense does the job again with 5 minutes to go. Conn Smythe Trophy race between McDavid, Draisaitl, and Rantanen. It all comes down to who gets it done when it matters the most. We'll be right back. And don't look now, but the Pacer lead is now single digits, Ian. It's a 120 to 114 lead for the Pacers. We know that no lead is safe, and we just about anticipated a comeback attempt.
Yep, and you know what? The Knicks would be the ones to do that, especially given the fact that if Indiana goes up 3-1, your Rockets had the best chance of doing it. So it is so a 3-1 comeback is possible, but I'll tell you what. I don't think the Knicks could pull it off.
Yeah. When you have a strategy that relies on your starting 5 a lot, and you don't have as deep of a bench as the Pacers do, I don't think a 3-1 comeback is happening. I think regardless, the Pacers win this series.
Agreed.
But so far, it's Jalen Brunson with 29 points. Karl-Anthony Towns, 24 with 11 rebounds. OG Anunoby with 20 points. With 3 steals, Mikal Bridges, 14 points. Josh Hart has 12 points and 11 rebounds off the bench. For the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton, 32, with 14 dimes, 9 rebounds. He almost has a triple-double. Pascal Siakam, 27 points. Aaron Nesmith, 16. Benedict Mathurin, 17. Miles Turner, 12. Coming back to you here from Edmonton. As this faceoff is won by the Oilers. One of the rare times in which they've won a faceoff, but the Stars hold the zone. One of the Oilers down. This is a penalty against Dallas. Leon Draisaitl got tripped, and Michael Graham was shaking his head. The Oilers are perfect 2-for-2 on the power play, and Granlund's going to go to the box. And this is one of the worst spots imaginable if you're the Dallas Stars. If you're wanting to turn into Knicks Pacers, John Out has you covered. Here, Granlund takes an inopportune and boneheaded penalty. And I know you're trying to go after the puck, but there's no reason to clip someone's skates like that. That's just uncalled for. What are you doing? This power play has been torrid hot for the Oilers in this postseason. It's unlocked another gear at home. For all the questions that both teams have in the offseason, I know both teams will be facing a cap crunch. For the Oilers, it's pretty much straightforward. Trade Darnell Nurse. For the Stars, it's less straightforward. Off the tie-up, it is Edmonton winning it. Bouchard towards the far boards. Cody Ceci ties up R&H. Puck came free towards the near corner. Dallas tried to battle for the puck. Draisaitl got it up. This one's still up for grabs. Nugent-Hopkins got it back for Bouchard. Then towards the left side is McDavid. Tried to get it back is the Nuge. Over to McDavid. Will 97 do? McDavid waiting. Now back for Nugent-Hopkins. Bouchard with the fans playing the hex on Jake Oettinger. McDavid goes down. McDavid almost tipped in by Perry. Dallas can't get it out as Bouchard held the deep right point. Bouchard steps into it. Pivots. Waits for the passing lane. Then finds one McDavid. McDavid wants to close in. Draisaitl fanned the shot wide. Bouchard holds the point left side. Nugent-Hopkins again. Will go to McDavid. Bouchard high slot. Draisaitl waits. Then fires it. Tried to tuck it under Oettinger's armpits, but it exits out of play. 1:02 left in the third period. This is basically Dallas, their season on the line. You can assure that they need to score the next goal. Corey Perry barely missed that one. 1:02 to go here on this Edmonton power play. He's been out there for 16-14. A goal, assist, 3 shots on 16-14 as Perry is going to walk off the ice. And I think there's going to be a timeout called here by the Oilers. So a timeout called by Chris Knobloch. And the penalty killing here for the Stars needs to get reset. I think the Oilers are taking this timeout so as to get the kill shot on the Stars. Because if the Oilers win this game, you can essentially say the Stars season, I don't know if they're going to come back from down 3-1. They can get a home win in Game 5. But the Oilers are on another level at their home ice as well. 1:02 remaining here in the third period. The Oilers have lost just once at home ice this year. But should they face the Florida Panthers, this may be a different conversation. The Panthers have lost twice on the road this postseason, but on the road in the last few games, they've been torrid hot. So I guess those two cancel out. The Stars' penalty killing is third best this postseason after being fourth best in the regular season. Would have been the best in the regular season had it not been for that 7-game losing skid. Dallas wins the faceoff with Harley, trying to play this one out, and he does so. Fans were waving their towels as Skinner will play this one through. Evan Bouchard will wait his timeout, waiting for McDavid to hit the feed, and he drops it to him. McDavid with speed towards the far side. McDavid swings it around. Oettinger slowed it down. Harley collects it up and gets it out. Bouchard holds it at center ice. Bouchard waits, finds Draisaitl as McDavid exits. Draisaitl wants to get it back with Bouchard. He gets tied up. 29 on the power play. R&H waits as the Stars make wholesale changes. Bouchard works his way up, gets tied up, and along the line. And Harley thought there was going to be a penalty. Harley delays it as the Oilers make wholesale changes of their own. Back around the boards, here it is, Colin Blackwell. Blackwell holds it around the horn. To the far side, Cody Ceci approaches. 3 seconds left. Adam Henrique holds on to it. 5-on-5 now. Dallas has to score the next goal. Just to force overtime. Towards the near side. Victor Arvidsson sends it in deep. Right back. It is Ceci who ties up Arvidsson. At the near corner, Henrique frees up space, but it goes over the hits. Rope hits around the horn. Oettinger's pulled here. Hits towards the right point. Johnston walks. And this one played out. Out the rink by the Oilers. Deflected by Henrique. Out of play. And the net empty, 2:35 to go. With an extra man on, Dallas must score the next goal. It doesn't matter how they do it. It matters how. It matters the next goal, period. Whether it be a pretty goal or an ugly goal. Just get the next goal. I know the NFL is in the doldrums right now at the stage of the offseason, which they're at. But still, I know a lot of fans of. I know the Dallas market is one of the best sports markets. It's not just the Cowboys. You have the Stars there. You have the Mavericks. You have the Texas Rangers. You have Dallas FC. And the MLS. Oh, you know, that AT&T commercial with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams. That's been on my mind for a while now. Because how ironic would it be for your top 3 players to show up to the arena wearing the same suit? I know AT&T can't guarantee that, but these 3 are brothers.
Well, it would either be deliberate or one of the funniest coincidences ever.
It would be either or, but because of the close brotherhood that they have, I think they would pre-plan this as an ode to the AT&T commercial. Just have some fun, boys.
Agreed.
All right, here we go. Seatbelts are fastened here. Dallas must score the next goal. The puck is cleared out. Comes towards the Oilers. Kasperi Kapanen. Empty net goal.
Dallas, it's been real. Peace out.
Oh, I'm happy for this fella. Kasperi Kapanen. The former Penguin, the former Leaf, the former Blue, claimed off waivers by the Oilers, put on the second line with Podkolzin and Draisaitl, and known for his hustle and hard work, Chris Knobloch has made the most out of him. I'm so happy for him. I don't mean to be a homer here, but man, does it feel good watching him contribute in a huge way for the Oilers. 2 goals here, but they have been huge ones for Kapanen. One of them has been an empty netter. The other one was a series winner to clinch the series for the Oilers against the Vegas Golden Knights in overtime. The other overtime winner was Game 2, a double overtime winner for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Game 2 off a nice feed from Brian Boyle against the Washington Capitals. Dallas will enter back in with this. This puck was gloved down. Michael Granlund might be a trip here. And this is played by Edmonton. No whistle. The fluck down and south down by Dallas. 100 seconds to go. The Stars need a miracle here. Stuart Skinner will play this one out to the far side. Draisaitl. And the Oilers seal it down. Waiting with this one. Cleared out onto the ice. Out of play onto the Edmonton bench. Deflected away by high stick. And Ian, how about Kasperi Kapanen?
You know what? Yep. Hey, he got a goal. He did his thing, and he contributed to a win. Pretty much in any playoff, that's just what you hope to do.
Meanwhile, we have a walk-off grand slam from Christian Yelich in the 10th inning.
Wow.
That shot fired wide, but yes, Yelich got the walk-off grand slam for the Milwaukee Brewers against the Boston Red Sox in the 10th inning. The Stars trying to pressure back. Tyler Seguin takes it away right behind the crease. Puck comes out in front. It's kicked up. And it comes to Seguin. Across the ice for Heiskanen. Heiskanen backhands it. Sharp angle shot. Skinner turned that one away. Moving it all the way down to Thomas Harley. 55 seconds to go in Game 4 before the Oilers take a 3-1 series lead. Puck is out down. Down to this is bullseye! And Adam Henrique can play La Bamba. This series will be a 3-1 series lead in favor of the Oilers headed to Dallas. It'll not be an inverse of last year in which the Stars won games 2 and 3, in which the Stars tied the series up after taking games 2 and 3. Here, it is the Oilers taking games 2 and 3 and then following it up with a Game 4 victory. The shot differential in the third period, get this. Edmonton holds a 13-3 shot differential in the third period. Oscar Bach gets closed out in front. 30 seconds to go here in Game 4. Puck comes behind the net. This crowd, as the crowd chants, "We want the cup." Thank you. This is what I want to hear from a fan base. This want to chant a chant that is not cursed. Do not chant that you want any specific opponent. 5 seconds to go, and the Edmonton Oilers are 1 win away from going back to the Stanley Cup Final. Can you believe it?
I said last season that when it was Edmonton's last chance. I was wrong, but I'm sure that this year is their last chance.
You know, with the cap crunch, the easiest solution to a cap crunch would be trading Darnell Nurse, because you have Jake Wallman on your disposal, and he's under contract for 1 more year after this season. But, all right, so now here's a scoop. The Dallas Stars have not won a playoff series when trailing 3-1 in a postseason series. So this is danger territory for the Stars. The Oilers, of course, they're playing like the hungrier team. If we do get Panthers-Oilers again, here's some good news for the Oilers. The last 2 times we had Stanley Cup Final rematches, the team that was on the losing end of the first match won the next time around. Wayne Gretzky's Oilers lost to the New York Islanders in 1983. That Islanders team was led by Mike Bossy, Brian Trottier, and all those players around. Now, the Islander dynasty of the early 80s. They got their revenge the following year in 1984. The next rematch, you have to go to the late 2000s. In 2008, a young Sidney Crosby and a young Evgeny Malkin lost to the Red Wing Empire in 6 games at the old Civic Arena. That Red Wing Empire with Henrik Zetterberg, Nicholas Lidstrom, the Magic Man Pavel Datsyuk, Tomas Holmstrom, Chris Osgood, all those guys. The very next year, the Penguins won in 7 games. This time around, should we get Oilers-Panthers 2, the Oilers will have home ice advantage this time around. And that can help the Oilers on paper. If we do get a rematch, do you believe the Oilers win the rematch this time around, or is it a Panther repeat?
I don't know, man. I'm still holding out hope. That Florida becomes the ultimate meme.
Oh, you know what? That would be a dream come true.
Yeah. I'm not holding my breath though.
All right, so we're going to get John's thoughts here post-game as he has finished coverage of his game as the Pacers take a 3-1 stranglehold on the Knicks. 130 to 121 the final. There will be no comeback this time around. What a night for Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton. Man, John, we had ourselves some nights to remember here between the Pacers side and the Oilers side. What a night.
I'm glad that you guys both have had some excellent games. I apologize we had to cover it because we split the difference from Sunday when I covered the Worlds. But I want to join into what you guys had already talked about in between the Stars and Oilers, because again, you're talking about the reverse mean for Carolina and Florida. We'll see. Florida's a little bit beat up at the end of it as well. But it looks like in your game, power plays and empty nets were the difference. Again, Kasperi Kapanen and Adam Henrique, but 2 more power play goals for the Oilers. And last year, the Stars made it a 6-game series. Right now, it doesn't even look like they're going to be able to get to 6.
It doesn't seem that way. And it looks increasingly likely we'll get a rematch of last year. And I made this question to Ian, but in the hypothetical that we get Oilers-Panthers Chapter 2, here's some good news for the Oilers. The last 2 times you got a Stanley Cup Final rematch, the team that was on the losing end of the first match won the second match. So there's some good news for Connor McDavid and company to look back on. Plus, if we get the rematch, the Oilers have home ice advantage. But the Panthers have been equally as good on the road as of late. But if we do get a rematch, do the Oilers prevail on the rematch, or is it a Panther repeat?
I don't want to keep you too long, Alec, because I know you've had the heavy workload per usual, but I'm looking at this for Stuart Skinner, 20 to 29, and I look at his last stretch of games because I've been following along on those bucks. Again, game 1, he got lit up 27-22, but he's coming off of 2 shutouts against Vegas, a shutout against Dallas, 33 of 34 in the last 6-1 victory, and now again, 28 of 29. Stuart Skinner's activated God mode.
It feels there are certain teams that he likes to play up against, and Dallas is that one team that he likes to face. God mode Stuart Skinner is a real thing. Whenever he is benched, he gets a mental reset, and that mental reset was the best thing to happen to him, because ever since the Game 1 meltdown by the Oilers, he has allowed just 2 goals.
That is absolutely unbelievable. If we would get a second talking point again where Skinner has outplayed Oettinger, and maybe all the shots on goal for the Stars do not accentuate into anything because they're just not scoring. And then the one last thing for me, as I flip the side of what was today, you'll see this across social media, if Alec hadn't already talked about it, Ian, but Tyrese Halliburton is the first player in NBA history to have 30 points, 10 rebounds, 15 assists, 4 steals, and no turnovers. And by the way, he played 38 minutes as the Pacers now take a 3-1 series lead. They win 130-121. But that is outstanding stuff.
Hey, guys, I think... Tell me if I'm out of bounds here, but I think it's time we start talking about Halliburton as a superstar.
I think you have to, Ian. You have to say those words when you have something like that, because the stat line before that, the only other players to do that was Oscar twice and Nikola Jokic once.
I think we may be on the cusp of talking about Tyrese Halliburton as a superstar, and maybe we may have a legitimate argument that we can put Halliburton over De'Aaron Fox. It's a hot take that's one of my friends said, but I may be starting to believe it.
You kind of have to, because they played well. Let me ask one last question, and we'll bounce out here. So we got 4 teams, and let's see if I can get them all right. Carolina, the Knicks, the Dallas Stars, and in the mix of it as well, in the Oklahoma City Thunder on the other side for the Timberwolves. All those guys down 3-1. Timberwolves, Stars, Pacers, Hurricanes. Do any of them come back?
I think the most likely would be the Knicks, but I don't see a scenario in which any of those 4 teams comes back. Dallas, they've been thoroughly outplayed and punched in the mouth. When you look at the third period shot differential, 13-3 in favor of the Oilers. They've been punched in the mouth time and time again. The Hurricanes, yes, we won Game 4, and we trailed 3 games to none in this series. But in the case that we were to pull away a reverse sweep, there has to be something that has to be having any sort of hope. We only had one even strength goal to account for. The other 2 goals that we accounted for in that Game 4 were empty netters. That was a tight game. And given the way that Florida's play on the road, I'm not holding in my breath here for any reverse sweep. I'll believe it when I see it. But it's good that we avoid the sweep at the very least.
I agree. I agree with that. But I will say this. Look, it's probably not going to happen, but if there were ever a team that the hockey gods would bless for this level of debauchery, chaos, and bull, it would be the Carolina Hurricanes. So it's probably not gonna happen. You know what? If they win Game 5, I'm confident. If the Hurricanes win Game 5, we need to be on the lookout, fellas.
Well, Florida's without Sam Reinhart and Nico Mikkola.
Wow.
Are you going to cover the game tomorrow, Alec?
I am TBD for tomorrow. But I'm likely leaning towards OKC, Minnesota in that regard.
Okay, I got you. Because I'm sure you and I will jump back in with you this weekend, most likely, if we have any other closeout scenarios. But we'll see what happens. Again, all these teams need to pick up some games. I'm glad to be able to join you guys, at least for the last few minutes. It was a fun one today. And as you said before, on the NBA side, at least, I think we are going to get OKC in Indiana. I don't know what sort of chance Indiana has, but in between Halliburton and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that's going to be a fun matchup to watch.
Oh, I'll be tuned in every minute to that one.
You guys take care, okay? We'll talk soon.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, at the end of it all, any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No.
Oh, this has been a fun one for tonight's broadcast. Between the Pacers and the Oilers, both of them have delivered and in fun and exhilarating games. We'll see if this can be closed out Game 5 on Thursday. But for now, we say so long from Edmonton. Good night.